St. Henry. Let's join Carl Metzger, Bob Askins, and Scott Stiles from Wirtz Stadium in Piqua. You're watching Fox 67, WOHL, Lima.
Everybody, and welcome to playoff football here on Fox 67, the regional finals, Division 6. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays from the Midwest Athletic Conference and their head coach, Vic Whiting, going up against the St. Henry Redskins from the MAC and their head coach, Tim Beckman. The Blue Jays coming to the ball game tonight. They are the #1 team in the state of Ohio. They are undefeated on the season, 11-0, 26 straight wins, going up against another team with a lot of tradition, the St. Henry Redskins. In fact, these two teams are kind of like, in Division 6, the two teams of the 90s. St. Henry comes in with a record of 9-2, only 2 losses this year, one of them to the Coldwater Cavaliers, who are playing the Bath Wildcats in another playoff game, and of course, the St. John Blue Jays. Pre-game show being brought to you by the Sports Medicine Center at St. Rita's, because you deserve first-class care. Our walk-in clinic is open, as always, from 7:30 a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. Monday through Saturday. My good buddies Bob Askins to my right and Scott Stiles to my left will be on the sidelines tonight. We'll tell you about tonight's matchup here from Wirtz Stadium right after this timeout.
The gym was like a second home to me.
Hey, Kevin.
So when I hurt my shoulder and I couldn't do the things I love to do, I knew I needed help. After surgery at St. Rita's and time in the hospital's therapy pool, my shoulder's stronger than ever. Thanks to St. Rita's, I'm back in the gym doing what I love to do, with the people I care about most.
For more about St. Rita's Sports Medicine Program, call us. That's why there's St. Rita's.
Here at Wirtz Stadium, beautiful stadium here at Wirtz Stadium in Piqua. We've got two teams who are just dominant teams from the Midwest Athletic Conference. Both teams have won state championships. Both teams have won a lot of MAC championships. Two great head football coaches and two very powerful programs. And I think, we talked to Vic Whiting earlier this week on the Locker Room Show, and also Tim Beckman, and they mentioned keys to the game, and Tim Beckman talked about a lot of keys in defeating Delphos St. John's. Vic Whiting was the same way, but Bob, when these two teams get together with the tradition both teams have, you can look back to that first game in which St. John's won during the regular season, 34-6, but this is the second season.
Well, I think you can throw that first game out. I think a couple things. You're further down the road. St. Henry's had some success since then, playing good football. We're still looking at St. John's. They've got tremendous depth, great speed, and all the confidence in the world. St. Henry has their history they're going to play upon, and I'm sure he's going to reach upon in that locker room before the game. But they're going to have to do well early to build some confidence, because St. John's has just been dominant all year.
And I tell you one thing, they've got players on both these teams. If you're looking at the all-MAC selections, the all-district selections, we could go on and on. But we heard good news, at least for the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. Bad news for St. Henry. Just talked to Coach Whiting a couple minutes ago. Chad Schulte, who has over 5,000 career rushing yards for the St. John Blue Jays, will be starting tonight.
And I think as much he's an inspiration, I think, to his teammates, and so it's just one more thing to get them playing better. Plus, Chad at 90% is better than most ball players at 100%. And I know Vic said that he wasn't sure he's 100%, but he was ready to go. And I'm sure we're going to see a real good outing from Chad tonight.
And Scott Stiles will be down here on the sidelines with us. And Scott, we've been to a lot of stadiums this year. What about the field conditions out here for the ball game tonight? It's cold. Our breath for the first time of the year, but what's the field look like?
Well, they have some low spots, but they tamped it in with sand and stuff. Both teams are going to have to deal with the field conditions, but Bath speed, St. Henry's going to have to contain that, and that might slow Delphos down enough where St. Henry has a chance to maybe play in this game.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Pre-game show has been brought to you by our friends from the Sports Medicine Center at St. Rita's, because you deserve first-class care. Our walk-in clinic is open from 7:30 a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. Monday through Saturday. What we're going to do right now is take time out. We will come back here, and we will tell you about Mike Pruitt's keys to the game. We'll also have the starting lineups all coming up next. Wirtz Stadium, it's now time for our keys to the game, brought to you by my good buddy Mike Pruitt at Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself, these guys know it, nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. And I tell you, Bob, it was tough. We had to sit down and take about 9 keys and kind of condense them to 3. What are the keys for both teams for tonight's game?
Okay, I think what we came up with was, first of all, St. Henry has to be able to establish the run. I know they've thrown for 2,000-plus yards, but it's not been as successful running. Got to move the ball. Time possession is the key for them establishing a run. Field position, a big key for St. Henry. They had terrible field position in that first matchup. They got to improve upon that to stay in the game. And, of course, the specialties or kicking game in particular, St. John's with a definite edge there. So we'll see how it all works out.
Okay, those are Mike Pruitt's keys to the game, brought to you by Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. We're going to take another timeout. When we come back, we've got starters for you, all coming up next on Fox.
It's time for the final markdown sale at Mike Pruitt Superstore. 94 Explorer XLT 4x4 only $13,950 or $296 a month. 96 Ford F-150 only $13,380 or $269 per month. Plus a special 7.5% rate on select vehicles with no cash down.
The cars and trucks you're looking for at Mike Pruitt's Superstore.
Let Gossard Moving Service introduce you to the fine art of moving. Let North American agent Gossard Moving Service orchestrate your next move. Call us at 419-225-4818.
It is now time for our starting lineups here on Fox 67 for this big MAC game here from Wirt Stadium. Starting lineups have been provided by our good friends. We got a lot of friends. This time from Gossard Moving Service, where your smooth move starts. And we will start with the St. Henry Redskins. When they come out on the offense, they will be led by their quarterback, Gary Gilbo, who has thrown for over 2,000 yards this season. He is number 10. Joe Follenkamp, their main running back at tailback, he's number 38. And Bill Gast is a fullback at number 6. Tight end is Ryan Post. He's a good one, number 26. Neil Schmitz, split end, is number 35. And Tim Bikey is number 2. He is at the flanker. That offensive line, first of all, number 65, left tackle Ryan Busher. Brad Potcotter is a left guard, number 51. Ben Hardings, the brother to the lineman for the Detroit Lions, Jeff Hardings. Ben is the center. He wears number 71. Corey Hess, number 74, is at that right side guard position. Tony Elking is number 72 at right tackle. On the defense for St. Henry, left defensive end is Ben Niekamp, number 20. Brad Zink, number 73, is the left defensive tackle. Nose guards Dale Everman, number 78. Mark Rosenbeck, the right defensive tackle, number 67. And Tony Kramer is on that right side defensive end. He is number 40. Ryan Busher, watch him. He's the player on the defensive linebacker position. Almost 200 tackles this season, 183 to be exact. He is number 65. And Rodney Mullenkamp is the other linebacker, number 34. And that's how this defense plays. They start with those LBs. Defensive backfield cornerbacks, Brian Hoeing, number 33. Greg Schwartz, number 84. Safeties are Joe Worms, who has 128 tackles this year, number 39. And Phil Borger is the other safety. He is number 16.
Let me get that for you.
Thank you, sir. But the Delphos St. John Blue Jays, when their offense comes out on the field, they are led by a bunch of guys. Scott McCormick is the quarterback. He is number 4. Dave Martz, fullback, 34. And Chad Sholey in the starting lineup tonight. He's got over 1,300 yards rushing this season. He wears number 30. Tight end is Ryan Morris, 84. John Odenweller, the flanker, number 24. And watch out for Jace Metzner. He is their split end, 41 catches for almost 1,000 yards. And he is just doing an outstanding job this year. How about that offensive line? The tackles, Keith Huntingford, number 72, our player of the game last week. Tony Steeman, number 77. The guards are Keith Godey, 70, and Eric Morris, 62. Center, Phil Gunder, number 51. When that D comes out on the field, Sean Ardner is on the left side at defensive end, number 50. Josh Ricker, one of the tackles, number 78. Matt Swinnen, the other tackle, number 61. And the rock man, Rocky Klaus, number 48, the other defensive end. Linebackers, and this team plays, and they play well with the LBs. Justin Murray, 52. Nick Etzkorn, 45. And Doug Martz, number 36. In the defensive backfield, cornerbacks are Steve Wiekert, 40, Brad Klaus, 16. Safeties are Josh Will, number 15, and Jeff Fisher, he is number 20. Those are your starting lineups, brought to you by Gossard Moving Service, where your smooth move starts. Coming up next, the battle in the MAC between the St. John Blue Jays and the St. Henry Redskins, all right here on Fox.
Need a gift for that special person or just want to have your home ready for the holidays? Then Lehman's Furniture is the place to shop. Now during our Christmas shopping season, Lehman's are featuring to qualified buyers 12 months, 12 payments, no interest on purchases totaling $300 or more. Do your holiday shopping now and we will deliver it free when you are ready. Shop during our extended holiday shopping hours. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 8 p.m., Saturdays from 9 to 4 p.m., and now until Christmas, Lehman's will be open on Sundays from noon to 4. So shop Lehman's this holiday season across from the post office in downtown Delphos.
Hi, I'm Coach Bob Armstrong here at the Loan Zone across from the Lima Mall. My friends Joe Recker, Amanda Mari, and Chuck Bowen are here to help you with all your financial needs. The Loan Zone offers competitive low rates on home equity loans, personal loans, and debt consolidations. When you need cash in a flash, take it from the coach. The Loan Zone is the place to go. Stop in today or call 331-7000.
Hey, TV Land, listen up. It's me, your car. You're driving me crazy, cruising from one gift store to the other. Just take a minute to stop. And think about the gift any car owner would love. A gift pack of wash tickets from Westwood Car Wash. The single wash tickets make great stocking stuffers. And when you buy a book of wash tickets, Westwood gives you a great deal of 5 washes for the price of 4. So give me a break. At your one-stop gift shop for all occasions. Westwood Car Wash in Salina and Van Wert.
We're still pushing, pulling, and towing here at LaRich. If you can get your old car in here, we'll guarantee you $1,000 towards the purchase of any used car on the pavement. And at LaRich, we've got hundreds of quality cars, trucks, and vans. And with on-the-spot financing, we'll get you in the car you want today. So come on, push, pull, or tow in your old car and get $1,000 towards your trade. Guaranteed.
LaRich Chevrolet and Cadillac in the heart of downtown Findlay. LaRich.
What if there were shortcuts only you knew about? There are. At Shell. Where it's easy to pay, pump, and go. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
Everybody, and welcome to Wirt Stadium. We are in Piqua, ready for the regional finals, Division 6 high school football. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays in their blue and gold, the dark blue and the dark gold, out with the St. Henry Redskins on the field right now. The light uniforms, the red and white. Head coach Tim Beckman, their record 9-2 on the season, up against the Blue Jays. They are a perfect 11-0. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays are going to start with the kickoff to the St. Henry Redskins. Kicking is going to be old reliable Charlie Webb, number 10, who has an outstanding season for the Blue Jays. In fact, an outstanding career. And receiving for the St. Henry Redskins is going to be Neil Schmitz, number 35, and Tim Bikey, number 2. This is a rematch from a game they had earlier this season in which Delphos St. John's won 34-6. The winner will go to the state semis. Here we go. St. Henry going to get the football, and it's going to be Bikey. He's going to take it to the 9-yard line, across the 15, the 20, the 25, and he goes down at the 32-yard line. That is where St. Henry will set up 1st and 10. Head coach is Tim Beckman, 165, 42-3 in his 18th season overall as head coach of St. Henry. 13 returning starters, 25 returning lettermen. That offense will be a Pro I. The defense will be a 52. State champs in 90, 92, and 94. The Blue Jays. Vic Whiting, 91-28. 12 returning starters, 24 returning lettermen. Last year, of course, the state champs in Division 6 football. Here we go, 1st and 10 for St. Henry. Their quarterback is Gary Gilbo, number 10. Watch out for Joe Fullenkamp, number 38. They're going to pass on the first play of the football game. It's a crossing pattern and a reception all the way to the 45. And the Jays, after the first big play of the football game, a reception to the split end, Neil Schmitz, who has caught 64 passes this year for 936 yards and 7 touchdowns. First team all-district, Bob, and it's a big play to start the game.
We talked about we needed to establish confidence. Boy, that's got to do wonders for him. All he did was take 3 receivers, run them deep, and then just drug him underneath the linebackers wide open and lots of room to run.
Well, we said establish the running game, and Coach Beckman comes out putting the ball in the air out of the I formation. It is Gary Gilbo, number 10, 6 foot 151 senior. First back through is Bill Gast. Gast with 48 carries this year for 159 yards. He's got a couple of touchdowns. Gilbo, the big surprise according to Tim Beckman, 152 for 255 for 2,114 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Joe Fullenkamp, 178 carries, 936 yards, and 22 touchdowns. Out of the I formation, it's a 2nd and 7 from the 31-yard line against that very tough Blue Jay defense. He wants to throw again, pumps once, looks twice. The Blue Jay defense going to come after him, and they bring him down inside the 30-yard line.
A great job of covering up on receivers. He had a lot of time, and we talked about establishing a running game. And, that they have been a passing team all year, and so they've got to give him time to throw, which they did there. But credit to St. John's secondary, and they've been strong all year. And once again, great coverage downfield.
In 96, St. John's beat St. Henry 42-21 regular season. Last year, 23-zip. This year, 34-6. St. John's MAC champs in 89, 91, 94, 97, and this season as well. It's going to be a 3rd down and 4. He wants to pass again. Gilbo looking downfield, in trouble, and he's going to go down. The Blue Jay defense there one more time, and in on the tackle was big number 78 for Delphos St. John's, and that is Josh Ricker, first team All-MAC, 57 tackles this year.
One of the keys to good pass rush is not only put pressure on, but as you do that, stay in your rush lanes and don't give him room to run. And there was a great example of that, covering up the rush lanes and no room to run.
St. Henry beat Cedarville to get here, 43-6.
They're gone for it here.
St. John's 61-15 over Hardin Northern. A 4th down 6 from the 31. Blue Jay fans, St. Henry fans on their feet. Passing situation. Gilbo looking across, got himself a receiver, but he's not going to get enough for the first down. The defense there for Delphos St. John's.
There's a great stop. I'll tell you what you might look for there, Carl, is that play side tight end drug back underneath, and on the far side, if you look, was standing wide open downfield. They may come back to that.
Jays hold. St. Henry will be out in their 52 defense. Delphos St. John's in their multiple I, led by Chad Schulte. Watch, folks, for number 30. In the starting lineup for St. John's, he's been out since week 9. Over 2,300 yards rushing this season. The offensive player of the year of the MAC. First play is going to be a catch to Metzner. Metzner has over 900 yards in terms of receptions this year. Metzner, first team All-MAC, also first team All-District. Scott McCormick is the quarterback. Did throw for over 1,500 yards this year and 23 touchdowns. Martz with over 500 yards rushing, almost 600. Schulte, offensive player of the year of the MAC, also Division VI co-player of the year in the district. Over, as I mentioned, 1,000, I said 2,300, I meant 1,300 yards this year. Over 5,000 yards rushing in his career. Pitch back Schulte, first run of the football game, and they contain him, Bob, on that right side.
Well, he just got great pressure from the secondary, came up and took it on. Looking, I thought we were going to have a measurement here. I was looking.
It's going to set up a 3rd down and short. You know, some of those other players, Ryan Morris, the tight end, with over 200 yards with the receptions of 5 this year. I mentioned Metzner, but their offensive line is a good one. Tony Steeman was our player of the game last week, first team All-MAC. Also the lineman of the year in the district, Eric Morris, first team All-MAC and All-District. 3rd down and short, 8 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, first quarter. Pitch back Schulte. Schulte trying to pick up the yard, and he does. First down, Blue Jays.
Good to give Chad a chance to run the ball in a key situation like that and build up his confidence. I mean, granted, he's a gamer, but still, when you've been banged up as he has been all year, you need to get out there and get hit a couple times. Those are 2 big carries early in the game, even though they weren't for much yardage.
Blue Jays on their own 40. Scott McCormick, first team All-Midwest Athletic Conference as well. 6'3", 190-pound junior. Be looking for him this whole ball game. He's a good one. First down, pitch back again, this time off of right tackle. Not much going on that time. I tell you too, Bob, we're not only talking about this offense for Delphos St. John's, folks, but watch out for this defense for St. Henry. They are led by their linebacker, Ryan Busher. 183 tackles this year, 5 sacks, 3 interceptions, all MAC first team, all district first team. He's all everything first team. Brian Hoeing first team all MAC as well. And also they've got Rodney Mullenkamp in there, 147 tackles this year. 2nd and 8, McCormick wants to throw. Looking downfield for the long ball. Metzner, nice spiral, caught. Chase Metzner at the 20-yard line hauls yet another pass in, and I tell you, right down there on that one was our sideline man, Scott Stiles.
Tell you what, they went to Metzner early in the game, just like they did last week. Another great catch by the young man. He came up hobbling. He came down on his ankle hard, Carl. He's hopped off the sideline. And now I'll give you an update as soon as I find out something. Back to you.
Okay, now it's going to be a first down and 10. The Jays, a nice pass play there. Ball resting at the 21-yard line. We're at 7 minutes remaining here in this first quarter. Scott McCormick under center. Phil Gunder, man in motion for the Jays. They fake the pitch back and go to the first man through. Nothing going on. Dave Martz with that defense. And I mentioned the linebackers kind of lead this defense for St. Henry. They've got some other good ones out there as well. Watch Dale Everman, the nose guard, number 78. He's got 81 tackles this year. And also, Bob, that left defensive end, Ben Niekamp, has 5 sacks.
He's already been a key player already today, twice in the backfield to trip up runners. That time, Rodney Mullenkamp did a great job of reading the guard and filling on that.
Pass play, a short one, is going to be caught inside the 10-yard line. John Odenweller, the flanker, who has 8 catches coming into the ball game for 188 yards, gets that reception. And let's see where they're going to spot that, right at the 10. So it looks like, Bob, they may bring out the sticks.
Well, they're having a conference here.
Some of the other teams still involved in Division VI football: Newark Catholic, Lancaster Fisher, Tiffin Calvert, Gibsonburg, Cuyahoga Heights, and Monroeville. Team to watch out for: Newark Catholic won over Zanesville last week, 60-21.
This is a first down, half a ball, Carl, in case you wondered.
Okay, let's see how Bob does here in the champ game. They stretch it, and you're right, Bob. 1st and 10 for Delphos St. John Blue Jays. St. John's rolled over their opponents this year, scoring 60-plus points in their first 5 ball games, and then in 2, I was right the first time, 3 of their last 4, counting their playoff games, so they can put some points on the board in a hurry. 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. It's going to be first down and 10, right at that 10-yard line. They go to Sholey, and there's that defense again. Let's see who was in that time. Might have been the linebacker in there, Busher. And let's see. Looked like Rosenbeck, who was in there. Mark Rosenbeck, number 67, who has 55 tackles this year, was in on that one. This is the 9th play of this drive for Delphos St. John's. St. Henry making them work for it, and they had one big play, that reception by Metzner in this drive. 2nd and 9, ball at the 9-yard line. McCormick, he goes to the out pattern, and it's going to be incomplete. Defense was there for St. Henry, even if the catch would have been made, and the pass that time was to Klaus, and it falls incomplete.
Looked like Joe Orms will believe in the coverage. I tell you, that was a little bit of a dangerous pass. Joe was right there, and another step, and he might have been going the other way for 85 yards.
It's going to be a 3rd down situation now. They are going to be needing 9 yards to pick up this first down. They've got trips on the right side. Scott McCormick, the quarterback, with 1 back in the backfield, and they run with the handoff, and there's nothing there but a flag. St. Henry defense all pumped up, but the flags come down as soon as that play finishes off. And it's probably going to be a holding call against St. John's, and that is exactly what it's going to be, Bob. And I tell you one thing about the Blue Jays, though. You get them in a 4th down situation. They've got a young man who has been outstanding this year in field goals. 7 for 8, Charlie Webb, and he has a school record, the longest field goal of 44 yards, but he's kicked them from 35 twice, 29 twice, 24 and 27.
That's a nice weapon to have, particularly in high school football, where you get inside that 30 to 25 yard line, and there's potential to get 3 points out of it. And we've seen him kick the warm-ups, and he can certainly go longer than 44 if need be.
St. John's fans are on their feet. 5 minutes, 18 seconds remaining, and they are going to go for it on a third down as they moved him back. They need 19 yards to pick up the first. Shotgun for Scott McCormick. Looking downfield for a receiver, looking for the screen. They set it up all kinds of time. Now they throw it across the middle. It's going to be caught by Morris. Morris, though, is going to be short of the first down, but now it's going to, and they got another flag.
That's got to be an ineligible receiver downfield. The lineman released.
Yep.
The ball was caught over the line of scrimmage. You can release your lineman in high school, but the ball has to be caught behind the line of scrimmage to do that.
What are you seeing down there, Scott?
Carl, they're still working on Metzner right now. He can't really put any pressure. It's his left knee. His left knee is what they're looking at right now.
Okay, thank you, Scott, for the update. It's going to be a fourth down situation. The St. Henry Redskin fans know that their team right here needs to do the same thing the St. John Blue Jays did down on the other end of the field. That's stop this drive on a fourth down. But right now, first of all, they're checking out the situation with the captains of St. Henry to see what they're going to do with this penalty, whether it's going to be declined or whether they're going to add on the yards.
Looks to me like they're going to add it on again. I think what they're trying to do is get them back far enough to get them out of field goal range. Try and stop them completely.
Jays with 26 wins in a row, trying to keep that alive as they are the defending 6 state champions. And they'll move them back, so let's keep it now. I said fourth, let's go back to third down. Give St. John's of this powerful offense yet another chance to hit pay dirt. So now it's a third down and 24 with 4:45 remaining. Scott McCormick out of the shotgun one more time. Gets the snap, rolls right, looks downfield, keeps, throws, caught right at the stick and inside the 10-yard line. The Jays now with a fourth down situation. They're going to need about 7 or 8 yards to hit pay dirt. Looks like it's going to be Charlie Webb time as he's going to try to put a couple of points up on the board. The ball is spotted at the 7-yard line, so it's going to be a 24-yarder. The holder is going to be Josh Will. It is there. Kick is up, and Mr. Reliable will not do her this time. Charlie Webb, for one of the few times this year, the only time he missed this year was when it was from 50 yards plus, so that time he got a little bit to that right side, so the Jays are going to come up empty, Bob, in their first possession.
Tell you what, it was a time-consuming drive and play-consuming drive, but big moral victory at the end there for St. Henry with a big hold. And we talked about pregame. There's a lot of history behind St. Henry, but the confidence factor may have been lacking. They haven't beaten St. John's in quite a while. The longer they can hang, the more they're going to start believing again.
Well, Gary Gilbo brings his team back out. They are going to run the football off right tackle, and a lot of running room that time as they get it out near the 27-yard line. Watch for Joe Follenkamp, almost 1,000 yards rushing this year as he picks up a nice chunk there on a first down play.
Good run by Joe Follenkamp. Nice job.
There's a nice counter back to the eye back there. Got some good blocking up front. And nice lead by the pulling lineman also.
Second down, they need 3. Ball at the 27-yard line. They've got a couple of receivers split wide out of the I formation. Here comes Gilbo, the handoff to Follenkamp. Left tackle, that J defense there one more time. Looks like Josh Will was in there to help out of his defensive back position. Josh is one of those players that was all district, Bob, first team, but did not make it all MAC first team.
Right, I think that more than anything speaks reams for how strong the MAC is. I think you can see that if you read that report in the paper. That happened quite a bit. Made it district, but not in your local MAC team. But in that case, the MAC might be better than the district.
Third down and short. They need 1 to pick up the first. They go to Follenkamp, and he will pick up the first down. Keeps on going, and I tell you, this is going to be a ball game that's going to be real interesting as these teams are just socking and bopping out there as the St. Henry fans are fired up on the other side. I'd like to thank a lot of folks tonight. I tell you, you look around this stadium, all sorts of nice people making it possible, a lot of them in the stands. And we are here tonight, Fox 67, bringing you the regional championship game from Division 6. Delphos, St. John's, and St. Henry. Gary Gilbo, the quarterback, out of the I formation, going to go with the fumble on the football is going to be Delphos, St. John's. They get the ball back. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. Looks like Ricker might have been in there, Bob, to cause some havoc, and finally the Jays cover it.
They had trouble on the handoff. The fumble was caused by an exchange problem. It wasn't from the hit or anything. I'm not sure what they're trying to run, but I think he was trying to pull it out and give it a second back. And sometimes you catch an elbow or catch a hip, and you don't do it cleanly, and there's the result.
30-yard line, 1st and 10. The Jays right back up to the line of scrimmage. After the turnover, they go with the handoff off right tackle. Some running room this time. It's going to be the fullback, Dave Martz, with a first down for the Jays.
Just running that fullback belly, and gets a good ride in there and carries out that option fake, and trying to run it down there on the goal line earlier with no success, but that time big gain.
The dapper Scott Stiles down on the sideline.
Carl, in that exchange with the quarterback for St. Henry, it looked like a lineman ran into him as he was doing the exchange. And I tell you what, Delphos has much momentum needed right now because it doesn't look like Metzner's could be out for the rest of the game.
First down, Martz will pick up a couple more yards, and Scott saying that Jace doesn't look too good on that sideline. We see him down there on the bench as a couple of guys standing around him. We hope Jace is okay, because this is a game the Blue Jays could really use him in against this very powerful St. Henry Redskins squad. You know, I mentioned St. Henry. I think we mentioned 3 state championships. They also won back in 1990, 92, 94, and 95. Runners-up in 1996. 2nd and 9 for the 15-yard line. Scott McCormick under center. Phil Gunder goes with a handoff. Martz picks up maybe another yard or so. But that defense there again for the St. Henry Redskins.
It looked like he had something on there, but filled real quickly. Number 40 from St. Henry stepped up, and that ride came to a quick end. I believe that's Tony Kramer. Tony is both the defensive ends for St. Henry were strong players. You look at their stats, lots of tackles, I think 9 or 10 sacks between them. They can play.
3rd and 6, under a minute remaining, first quarter. The ball's at the 12-yard line. McCormick wants to throw, has some time, has himself a receiver, and Clousey catches the ball. 1st and goal to go, Delphos St. John's.
A great throw down the way. Nobody's going to get it, but the receiver, good pattern, good timing, everything good. The quarterback, little slip there. Stiles, he talked about not being in real good conditions out in the middle of the field.
Got 50 seconds left here. So with 48 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, the Jays yet to score. We are tied up 0-0 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. Both teams have had their opportunities. Both defenses at least once in the first quarter have held. And right now it's St. Henry's turn to try to hold. 1st and goal to go from the 3. It's going to be a pitch to Schulte. It's a fumble, and Schulte's able to fall right back on top of it as McCormick's pitch back was a little bit short.
See if that does it for the quarter, or if they get one more in here. It'd be interesting. 0-0 in the first quarter. That hasn't happened probably not at all this year for St. John's.
Well, looks like they're going to let time run out with just 8 seconds remaining. They're going to want to go down to the other end of the field and start quarter number 2 afresh at the opposite end. We have played one quarter of action here from Wirtz Stadium in Piqua, Ohio. Our score, it is the Delphos St. John Blue Jays and the St. Henry Redskins knotted up at 0 apiece. Second quarter action coming up next on Fox.
Citizens Bank of Delphos, member FDIC.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal, because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's home-style family of foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
Include Chief Supermarkets in your plans this Thanksgiving. We've got fabulous fresh foods that will leave your guests in awe. And if you don't feel like cooking, we can prepare a full-course Thanksgiving meal. All you have to do is take it home and heat it up. At Chief Supermarkets, it's 100% guaranteed fresh. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. We look forward to helping you with your Thanksgiving plans at Chief Supermarkets.
The holiday season is upon us, and Kraus Lumber Do-It Center has the gifts you've been looking for. Take a trip back in time to Lefton Village. These beautiful homes and figurines will brighten up any home this holiday season. We carry a complete line of Lefton collectibles for you to choose from for that special someone. For the handyman around the house, you can choose from any of these tool sets now for only $8.97. Give the gift they can open every day with this half-horse chain drive garage door opener, a super buy for $129.97. Stop in today and start the holidays right with Kraus Lumber Do-It Center.
Today, something very unusual is happening in Lima, but only till Monday night. It's the new and used car acquisition sale at Lima Lincoln Mercury. Due to special arrangements, make the buy of a lifetime. You pay a $37 acquisition fee and acquire the payments on one of over 200 new and used vehicles from around the country. This is not a lease. Plus, buy now and make no payments till March of '99. Hurry, this special new and used car acquisition sale ends Monday night at Lima Lincoln Mercury in Lima.
Welcome back. Time for second quarter action here on Fox. 0-0 St. John, St. Henry. I'd like to thank Jay Metzner for the ball game, Bob. Jay did a nice job for us outside the parking lot. Provided us with some hot dogs and sausages and filled our tummies up before the game. And then Craig Seaver from the Carriage Inn brought up some food, sandwiches and wings and stuff. The Carriage Inn in Delphos. So we're ready to go for this football game. Thanks, guys.
Great hospitality.
Second down goal to go from the 5. It's going to be Martz, and he's going to come up short, so it's going to be third down. So the Jays are going to have a couple more knocks to knock it into the end zone.
So trying to pound it here, and no success right now. Of course, that key was that first down play. You lose yards, that first down play kind of puts you back on your heels a little bit. St. Henry has not had the ball much, but still 0-0. This is big for him here as far as keeping that dog up and hanging in there confidence-wise.
Jays try to put some points on the board. It's going to be a third down and goal. Just underway second quarter. Scott McCormick, he's got Martz in the backfield, trips left side, wants to pass, has himself a receiver, and he's going to be brought down. It's going to be Zach Weber. He is fleet of foot, but that time when Zach got the football, Bob, that's the best coverage we've seen in a long time on getting on Weber and not letting him cut that corner.
That's just another great job by the defensive end, Tony Kramer. We talked about the ends just a minute ago. Both their ends, fine players, and they're an example of a kid with a little speed playing the defensive end spot.
How about a 22-yarder this time for Charlie Webb with Josh Will holding. 15, that's Josh Will. And let's see what they do this time. Everything is there. The kick is up, and this time it is good. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays will score first. The scoring will come at the 10:47 mark of our second quarter. Delphos St. John's on top, 3-0 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. And Dave Mesker will check that scoring drive for you.
The scoring drive brought to you by Kraus Lumber's Do-It Center in Lima, where service is more than a slogan. That drive, Carl, took 8 plays and ended up with a 22-yard field goal, which was good for 3-0, and the time off the clock in that possession was 3 minutes and 33 seconds.
Thank you very much, Dave. We go down to Scott Stiles as he saw that field goal put the Jays up 3-0. Scott?
Yeah, Carl, he got a little redemption after missing the first one. But I want to tell you something. This game has a lot more atmosphere than it did last week. The hitting is unbelievable down here. And right now, Delphos finally realizes they got a game on their hands. It's a great game, Carl.
weather, temperatures getting down there a little, Scott. You're going to have to get that funny little hat out and put it on.
I promise you, it will be out by the second half. I don't care how hard you laugh at me. The thing will be on my head start the second half.
We are taking a shot right now of Jace Metzner as he is getting worked on at the sidelines again, and we hope he's able to get back in. Time for the kickoff. This is Webb getting his foot into it. Bikey back there, and it's going to be taken around the 15-yard line, but this time is going to be returned by Neil Schmitz, who is also their split end. Let's see if St. Henry can put a drive together as the Jays have stopped them. And I tell you, though, Bob, that defense for St. Henry did a nice job.
They sure did. That's the second time they've been able to come up big down there on first and goal or down there in the red zone, so to speak. Even though the redemption for the kicker there, I think that was more of a moral victory for St. Henry than St. John's. They can put something together here, and we definitely got a ball game. They can get down the field here and put a score on the board.
Gary Gilbo with trips right side, wants to throw, gets rid of it, and throws that one away almost behind the line of scrimmage for a lateral, and they're going to say, nope, incomplete pass.
The referee took a long look at that before he decided it wasn't a lateral.
Last year, the St. John Blue Jays won the MAC. Perfect on the season, 10-0. They win the state championship this year, trying to do the same thing in the same style, and they are just 3 games away from capturing their second straight. As you know, I tell you, St. John's and St. Henry, these two teams have been dominant in Division VI all through the 1990s.
Well, you said it earlier. They are the teams of the 90s, not just in Northwest Ohio. In Ohio, I think, in Division VI.
Second down, 10, 26-yard line. They go with the delayed handoff to their number 1 running back, Joe Fullenkamp, and he's able to pick up 4 or 5 yards. You know, I talked to Tim Beckman earlier this week, and Bob, you've went over the keys already, but the biggest key that Tim could come up with is that to be able to beat a team like Delphos St. John's, number 1, you have got to believe you can beat a team like St. John's.
Right, and that's what we talked about. We said St. Henry has the history of being there, but they have not beaten them in so long that you have to start to doubt yourself. And we talk about the big one tomorrow, Ohio State and Michigan. I think you're fighting the same type of thing.
Well, these Redskins have never defeated these Blue Jays, these veteran players for Delphos St. John's, anytime. 3rd down and 6 from the 30, trying to keep this drive alive. The defense is there, and the throw is going to be incomplete, as it was Tim Bikey, the flanker, out there trying to get that pass, but it falls incomplete, and so they will turn the ball over on downs.
I know they had a backside blitz on a great pickup in the backfield there by St. Henry, but coverage downfield, I tell you, St. John's secondary man's up on you, and you just don't get open. I started to think it was getting foggy, but I guess it was somebody smoking illegally or something.
It's 4th down. Time to punt for St. Henry. Brent Bowman, who averages about 34 yards a punt. It's going to be a short one, but it's high. Fair catch at the 42 and fumbled, and I think St. Henry might be on it. I think they're on it. Let's check it. At least St. Henry's putting the hand up, and it's their ball. The Redskins get a big turnover, which you do not see very often from these Blue Jays, and so they will bring that offense back out of the field. 1st and 10 for the Redskins.
A couple things, Carl, that I've seen already. A couple key mental errors by Delphos in that first drive. Penalties we don't normally see by them, and then here's a fumble, and we had a fumble on a pitch earlier. So we've seen 3 or 4 types of mistakes that normally we don't see from a Delphos team, and those are the type of things that allow you to get upset.
1st down, 10, 43-yard line. Again, Gilbo goes to Fullenkamp, picks up a couple of yards, and that's about it. Jays are all over the place. You know, we had a chance to talk to Tony Steeman's mom before the football game. Scott, Tony Steeman's mom, telling us about all the great things the moms do for these offensive linemen.
Well, I tell you what, Carl, once a week. I tell you what, I'm going to start going over there, too. You see how big these guys are? They feed them once a week pasta, stuff with carbohydrates in, and these guys, they'll go through 4 or 5 pizzas, you know, spaghetti and all that sort of thing, and it really pays off. These guys appreciate what their mom's doing, and it's paying off. Look how big these guys are.
I tell you, they do that for the whole football team, and it's a very close-knit group, like a lot of these teams. Oh, here comes the blitz, and he's going to go down, and there's a flag. Face mask against St. John. I tell you, they had the sack led by the Blue Jay defense in there, and they brought him down, and then they got a hold of that face mask, and now it's going to go against St. John's.
Johns, and that's going to get rid of a great sack.
They're going to go from 3rd and about 18 to 1st and 10, I believe. And once again, we're talking about little things that keep you in there. I'm not sure who made the sack there.
Justin Murray actually was in on the play there. It looked like Justin Murray was in there, number 52. But anyway, it's going to help the St. Henry Redskins after what would have been a big play for Delphos St. John's. And so that's going to set up a 2nd down. They're only going to need a yard now. Let's see where they're going to put the ball.
It wasn't quite enough for a first down. I'm sorry. It wasn't quite enough for a first down.
So big break for the Blue Jays. 2nd down, they're going to call it 2 from the 34-yard line. Gary Gilbo with the I formation wants to throw. Looking deep, has Schmitz down that right sideline. Touchdown, St. Henry. The St. Henry Redskins will strike at the 8:30 mark of our 2nd quarter. It's going to be Gary Gilbo to Neil Schmitz, 34 yards out. St. Henry goes on top, 6-3.
Hey, you're looking at a 2nd and 1. Why not take a shot and go for it all? If he's not open, throw it away. You always got 3rd and 4th down to go for it. Boy, perfectly thrown. He just kept running and ran right underneath it. Great throw, great catch.
So now they will go for the extra point. It's going to be Riley Kramer, number 54, in to attempt it. Gary Gilbo is going to hold. Snap coming from Ryan Busher. Everything is there. The kick is up, and it is going to be no good. So there's a big break. Big break for the Blue Jays, as that extra point is going to be no good, but a nice pass play down there, Scott, from, again, Gary Gilbo to Neil Schmitz.
Schmitz made a great over-the-shoulder catch, Carl, and it all happened. It stemmed from the unusual mistake of a Delphos St. John's errant fair catch. The coaches were wanting to back off from the fair catch. It was an unusually high punt for a high school punt. He tried to make the catch. St. Henry just made him pay for it. 6-3, St. Henry. Back to you guys.
Well, that's a big lift for the St. Henry fans as they are on their feet over there. Going to be checking the rundown of all the games in Division 2, 4, and 6, brought to you by our good friends at Interim Personnel, with offices in Lima, Delphos, St. Mary's, Wapakoneta, and also Ottawa. In Division 2 at Welcome Stadium, it's Miami Trace up against Lebanon. Warren Harding, Molenkoff Stadium, Chardon plays East Liverpool. Lima Senior, Sylvania Southview up against Salina. And at Parma Byersfield, Mayfield versus Grafton Midview. Check 4 and 6 for you when time allows. 8 minutes and 30 seconds. It's now 6-3. St. Henry on top, but the Jays get the football back. Corey Hetz gets the foot into it. St. Henry will, or rather St. John's will pick the ball up around the 15-yard line, and the St. Henry coverage team is there as the Jays get it just across the 20-yard line. Returning the football was Zach Weber, and the Jays will set up 1st and 10. Some of the games from Division 4 football in Hamilton Virgil Schwarm Stadium. Valley View up against Cincinnati, Wyoming. Canton Fawcett Stadium, Orville plays Youngstown Ursuline. Troy Memorial Stadium, Coldwater, what a game. Coldwater and Bath playing, and also at Lakewood, Aurora up against Huron. We'll check Division 6 for you here in a second. 1st and 10, 25-yard line. 8:24 remains here in this 2nd quarter. Scott McCormick goes with Schulte, trying to turn on the afterburners, and he picks up about 4 yards. Other games in Division 6. Got this game here tonight also at Zanesville Sulzberger Memorial Stadium. Newark Catholic 9-1 up against Lancaster Fisher Catholic. And at Pemberville Eastwood. At Pemberville, yes folks, another game at Pemberville. Tiffin Calvert, the alma mater of Ken Schreiner, the head football coach over at OG, up against Gibsonburg. And at Lyria Ely Stadium, it's Cuyahoga Heights up against Monroeville. Thanks to Interim Personnel for helping us out with those football games from 2, 4, and 6. Martz with the football. He's only going to get about a yard or so. I tell you, Bob, this defense is just swarming as Dave Mesker will now check our scoring drive for the Redskins.
Brought to you, as always, by Krause Lumber Do It Center in Lima, where service is more than a slogan. 5 plays for St. Henry, covering 43 yards. Time of possession, a minute 13. Culminated in a 34-yard touchdown pass from Gilbo to Neil Schmitz. The extra point, no good, which leaves the score St. Henry 6, Delphos St. John's 3 here in the 2nd quarter.
St. Henry had no time, didn't have any problems with Cedarville, beating them 43-6. St. John's 61-15 over Hardin Northern. Now they're matched up. St. John's McCormick looking downfield, same kind of play, and Brad Klaus can't come up with it. Good defense back there for St. Henry, and it was Schwartz back on the coverage.
Tried to run a little out and up, and he read that well and ran right with him. Couldn't cover it any better. We talked about believing, and I think at this point in time, St. Henry thinks that this can be done. I'll tell you one thing that's real noticeable. Since Metzner went down, St. John's has seemed to play it a little bit down themselves. It makes you wonder if he isn't maybe the key as far as the leader out there. Guys like Chad Scholder are going to have to pick it up.
Last year, St. John's won the state championship by defeating Norwalk St. Paul. Final score was 42-28 in a game you saw right here on Fox. Jays are going to have to kick it away on 4th down. The ball at the 29-yard line. Martz averages about 33 yards on every kick. Punt, I should say. High snap. Martz is going to get it away, but barely. Nice kick. Driving Bikey way back. Picks it up. Gets to the outside and is finally driven out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. But St. Henry holds again, and they get the football back.
There's some big time hitting going on down there on that coverage. Snap just about over the head. Just little things that St. John's looks like they're not quite clicking on all cylinders right now.
St. Henry averaging 33 points a game. They are giving up 14. Right now they lead on the Lone Zone scoreboard 6-3. Second quarter, 6:58 remaining. These two teams are stocked with all MAC players and all district players. Like an all-star game out here. 1st and 10, 37-yard line. This is the quarterback looking for a pass play, but he's going to go down, and it's going to stay with St. Henry. Hey, Josh Ricker is doing an outstanding job on that defense right now for the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. And, you know, we talk about him. He's first-team All-MAC with 57 tackles. You got Murray and Etzkorn and Martz back there in those linebacker spots. And then this defensive backfield, all-stars in their own right. Klaus and Fisher and Will and Wiekert doing an outstanding job here tonight. On the 2nd down, 14. It's from the 34-yard line. Gary Gilbo, the quarterback, out of the I formation, looking for the handoff, goes to Fullenkamp. He goes nowhere. In on the tackle that time for Delphos St. John's was Matt Schwinnen, the right defensive tackle. He's got 41 tackles this year. Matt, the son of the Diesel Schwinnen. Saw Diesel earlier tonight.
Yes, we did.
Won't say where, but we saw him. A lot of great parents out on both sides who have brought their kids up to be great young men, and they're out here playing in a great football game here tonight. 3rd and 14 from the 34. Out of the shotgun. Again, it's going to be their quarterback, Gilbo. Looking, goes down. This time in there on the tackle looked like number 48. And that was Rocky Klaus. And so that means now that St. Henry is going to have to kick the football away on 4th down.
Nice coverage again. That's a coverage sack, but again, Gilbo making good decisions, eating the ball when necessary, not making any big mistakes, throwing things up for grabs. They got to play smart. 3 and out is fine with the field position they've had. Punt it down there and get another hold on their side.
Fisher and Wiekert back. Oh, there's a shank. Shank that one, hopefully for St. Henry. They get a bounce, but they will not. So St. John's is going to get the football in great field position as we go to Dave Mesker to check some of our numbers so far here in the 1st and 2nd quarter. Oh, look at him go with that calculator, Bob. We're going to have to wait for a couple of seconds.
How about I run down the possessions so far for both teams?
Do something for me, will you?
All right. Well, Delphos St. John so far in this ball game, on their first possession, they tried a 24-yard field goal, which was no good. On their next possession, they came back and connected on a 22-yard field goal. They have then fumbled and have punted. Meantime, St. Henry, their first possession was a 4th down conversion that failed. They then fumbled, punted, scored a touchdown, and have just punted.
6-3, St. Henry on top, 1st and 10, 42-yard line. McCormick to Scholde. He has not got a big one yet. He does now. Picks up a 1st down and continues on. Delphos St. John's down to where Chad Scholde's number is. Number 30 is going to be the 30-yard line. I tell you, talk about Scholde's, and Chad, just one of the many of the Scholde family, I should say, who has done well. His brother Scott Schulte, but also the other brother Todd Schulte, career rushing. Todd with over 3,000 yards, Scott with over 3,000 yards, and Chad beating up on his brothers. Chad career yardage over 5,000. 3 of the top 4 backs for the Blue Jay team in their history have been Schulte's. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. It's going to be pitch back Chad. Chad, right tackle, picks up a couple of more. And again, we'd like to thank some fine folks. Jay Metzner, who provided us with some delicious sausages before the game out in the parking lot. You ate about 3 of them, didn't you, Bob?
Well, I think you're exaggerating a little bit, but they were doggone good. Yeah. I think that was Styles that had 3 or 4.
Craig Seaver from the Carriage Inn. We tell you, if you are watching the ball game at home or somewhere, scurry on out to the Carriage Inn and have some of their delicious sandwiches and also wings and all that good stuff. Thanks to Craig for providing us with some eats. 2nd down 7 from the 27. Schulte in motion. They look to the pass play to him. He catches it, and he's not going to get a whole bunch, but a nice reception by Chad, though. And we'd also, Bob, would like to thank, if it wasn't for all of our sponsors out there, we got almost 40 of them tonight helping us out. We wouldn't be here at Wirtz Stadium in Piqua. You know, when I first came in, didn't have a great impression of this place. But I tell you, as I look around with the fans, I look at the stands, I look at the field conditions, it's a nice place for a football game.
Looking mighty fine. They've been treated fine since we got here.
It's warm up here in the press box.
Really warm up here. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
We are comfortable.
3rd and 4 from the 24. Pass play, and it's going to be incomplete. Back out there was Dave Martz, and that means the Jays now are going to be faced with a 4th down situation, and Scott Styles, Johnny on the spot again. He saw that pass play down there.
Yeah, it was a great defensive effort, actually, by St. Henry. He got just enough to deflect the ball away because they had enough for their 1st down. I just talked to a coach just a series before. I asked him if his shoulder is feeling a little sluggish. He said, yeah, but a couple of series, he'll get his legs back underneath him. And that time, I thought he ran a lot harder. Carl, back to you.
This one is going to be a 24 yards, so it's 42 yards. It is a deep one, and it is just going to be short. And so, again, Delphos St. John's, their 3rd field goal attempt tonight. This time it comes up short, as Bob mentioned. That was his ball resting to the 24. It's actually a 41-yard field goal attempt. And so Delphos St. John's going to come up short, so they continue to trail with 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in this first half. 6-3 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. And I tell you, Jace Metzner has been out since the first couple of plays of this football game, and the Jays have been unable to get that big pass play from McCormick to Metzner, and they still trail by 3. So let's see that St. Henry offense back into the football game now. They go to Fulton Camp for maybe a yard or 2, and that's going to be it. Well, you look at this offense, Bob. You got back there in that backfield, Joe Fullenkamp with almost 1,000 yards. You've got Neil Schmitz with almost 1,000 yards at split end. You've got Ryan Post, and I tell you, Post has been quiet so far in this game. Came in with 23 receptions for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. All MAC first team, and those 2 receivers, at least I should say the 1 receiver, Post, has been quiet so far.
They've really worked hard at establishing a run here early, too, I think. And
that's what they wanted to do.
They're not really looking to throw out there too much, other than that one big bomb.
2nd and 9 for the 21. Pitch back Fullenkamp, and he goes down. St. John's on that left side doing an outstanding job. And over there is Sean Ardner and the guy we've been calling out all night long, Josh Ricker. Also some linebackers back there, Justin Murray. And so now St. Henry going to have to be moved back even further. As well, we have a flag down there?
Yes, we did. Flag against St. Henry. I think we're going to take them back.
Yeah, and as you see that post name, when you think St. Henry, a lot of those post names come from the famous Wally Post. You think of the Hoeings and a lot of those other guys, they all getting their talent from one outstanding football player. One outstanding athlete, I should say.
Yeah, a lot of good bloodline there running through not just St. Henry, but Mercer County in general.
Bob will check the officials for you in just a second or so. 2nd down, they need 20 for the 1st down. The ball resting now at the 10-yard line. Gary Gilbo Under center, Ben Hardings. Hand off to Fullenkamp off right tackle. When you hear that Hardings name, you think Jeff Hardings, who is now an offensive lineman, injured for the Detroit Lions, also an outstanding guard for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
The key here is to use up as much time as possible by St. Henry and try and get into the half still up 6-3. I thought maybe St. John's would use a timeout here, but doesn't look like it.
We haven't seen the clock stopped yet in terms of...
No, we haven't.
In terms of timeouts here in the first half. We're down to 1 minute 30 seconds remaining now in this first half. It's going to be a 3rd down 18 from the 12. Pitch back Fullenkamp. Left tackle picks up about 4. So that's going to set up a 4th down situation. And so a timeout is called down on the field. We will do the same with 1 minute 16 remaining, second quarter. It is 6-3 in favor of St. Henry.
Balance. In the brokerage world, it's the art of understanding your financial goals and today's complex market. Our stockbrokers are trained to follow the ebb and flow of the market. They're also real people, just like you. They, too, are striving for something. In this case, it's perfect balance.
For all of your financial investment needs, contact Kevin Lozier at MFI Investments Corp. in Delphos.
Unverferth Manufacturing of Kalida and Delphos has been producing quality farm equipment since 1948 and believes in partnering with local schools to provide positive work experiences and career choices. Take Peggy, for instance. She's following in her father's footsteps. John's 25-year career with Unverferth began with a work-study program. School-to-work programs improve the connection between classrooms and workplaces. Unverferth Manufacturing, helping to prepare today's students for tomorrow's workforce.
There's always something cooking at the Carriage Inn in Delphos. Whether it's soups, salads, sandwiches, lunch, or dinner, the Carriage Inn in Delphos has home-cooked recipes for all ages. Lots to choose from on the sandwich board. There's a different kind of soup in the kettle every day, and the dinner entrees are magnifique. A Friday night tradition in Delphos is Carriage Inn fish, all you care to eat, and plenty of sides to go with it. If you can find room, sample a piece of homemade pie, baked daily, at the Carriage Inn, 1201 East 5th Street in Delphos.
It's the one thing you've been dreaming of since you started your own family, your own home. Whether you're set on a cozy ranch or a spacious two-story, Rains Quality Homes can help you make that dream a reality. Rains Quality Homes has houses starting at $46,000 and offers you easy ways to finance. Stop dreaming and start living in the home you've always pictured for your family. Rains Quality Homes, Bluffton, 358-HOME.
Action Lane invites you to step in line. Scoot on down to your Action Lane dealer today. We'll pair you up with a partner from the Action lineup. These chairs come in easy-moving styles and colors that provide reclining comfort when it's time to kick off those dancing shoes. So stomp, strut, or shuffle, whatever you have to do. Just get on down to your Action Lane dealer today, where we have the best lineup in the house.
Your Action Lane dealer in Delphos is Westridge's Furniture.
We'll say that.
Welcome back to Piqua. It is a 6-3 right now in this regional final game between St. Henry and St. John's. Delphos St. John's trying to get the football back with 1 minute 16 remaining. And St. Henry is going to have to punt right now. Their punter is Brent Bowman, who is averaging 33.9 yards per punt. Back for Delphos St. John's in punt reception position is going to be Jeff Fisher. Number 21, who I think I said in the pregame show his number was 20. It is 21. And he is trying to get the ball. He does at the 49-yard line, trying to get the return, and he will not. He's going to go down right where he started, around midfield. So the Jays are going to have 1 minute and 6 seconds to work here in the second quarter, as Bob will check all those officials for you.
Yes, sir. Officials voted upon and assigned by the state, so this is kind of reward for them. A referee heading up the crew, Keith Bloom. Umpire John Ermo. Linesman Jerry Fick. Line judge Jim Bywaters. And the back track judge tonight, Sam Barthouse.
Okay, and so the Jays are going to try to get something going here as we got a penalty
I think they're going to make them punt it over.
Going to make them punt it over.
They came after it that time pretty hard, which kind of surprised me. I thought they might set up for a big return and get great field position. But they,
flag is back there around the 5-yard line, so the Jays going to try again.
Well, it looks...
Oh, wait a minute here. I didn't see that. They got a roughing the kicker, and maybe Scott Stiles got a better look at that.
Yeah, Carl, they were coming his full out bore for the punt. They laid up, but they went right into him. I tell you what, Coach White is not happy about the performance the first half by the Delphos Blue Jays.
First and 10, 31-yard line. St. Henry with the ball. Off right tackle. We have another penalty. The flags are starting to fly out here on the field. And that's going to come at the 1 minute and 3 second mark here of the second quarter. I tell you, this has been a hard-hitting football game as we are at 6-3 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. Delphos St. John's earlier in the season with some great field position on their part, keeping St. Henry from establishing the running game. Defeated St. Henry 34-6 at Stadium Park. And Tim Beckman does not like to go to Delphos to play football games against St. John's.
I don't think anybody does, whether it be Tim or anybody else.
And so the MAC champions are going to try to hold St. Henry right here. First down, now 20 from the 21-yard line. 51 seconds remaining in this second quarter.
He's going to eat as much clock as possible here. Yep. Good job by Gilbo.
Gary Gilbo, the quarterback. Thunder Harding's looking for the handoff to Fullenkamp, and he will go off left tackle and pick up about nothing, maybe a yard if that. And we may get one more play in, or all depends what the Redskins do here. We're down to about 30 seconds remaining here of this first half. Tell you, they go in the locker room like this. It is the kind of football game I think a lot of people expected. That's a close one, and I think St. Henry is just going to eat up the rest of this 12 seconds and be satisfied here at the half with a 6-3 lead. And that is exactly what they will do as both teams will head into their locker rooms. We have played 24 minutes of high school football Division 6 regional championship game. It is the St. Henry Redskins on top of the Delphos St. John Blue Jays, 6-3. Halftime show coming up next on Fox.
Fox 67 is proud to bring you tonight's high school football playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the broadcast rights of this game. If it wasn't for the support of the following businesses, this broadcast would not have been made possible. United Equity Incorporated in Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmer cooperative. Harder & Son Memorial Chapel at 209 West 3rd Street in Delphos. Harder & Sons wishes good luck to their favorite co-worker, number 77, Tony Steeman. Reliable Plumbing and Heating. Call Reliable at 695-2921 for all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Reliable has 24-hour emergency service. The Delphos Food Locker, now featuring bulk sausage for $1.09 or whole pork loins for $1.89. Go Blue Jays. Community First, Bank and Trust. Service, that's first. Fox 67 would like to wish the best of luck to all of the area teams during this year's high school football playoffs.
The action is.
When is an oil change more than just an oil change? When you go to Quick Change Oil and Lube, featuring top quality Valvoline lubricants. We also clean your windshield, vacuum your floors, check all your fluid levels, and check your tire pressure. Best of all, no appointments are necessary. Come to Quick Change Oil and Lube today on Westwood Drive in Van Wert. And now try our new location on North Perry Street in Ottawa, as well as Van Wert. Same great prices, same great service. People who know use Valvoline.
Serious golfers, stop by CR Golf in Delphos. CR Golf will custom design clubs to match your swing. They can re-grip your clubs too. CR Golf, 331 North Main in Delphos.
Balance. In the brokerage world, it's the art of understanding your financial goals and today's complex market. Our stockbrokers are trained to follow the ebb and flow of the market. They're also real people, just like you. They too are striving for something. In this case, it's perfect balance.
For all of your financial investment needs, contact Kevin Lozier at MFI Investments Corp in Delphos.
Hey, TV Land, listen up. It's me, your car. You're driving me crazy, cruising from one gift store to the other. Just take a minute to stop and think about the gift any car owner would love. A gift pack of wash tickets from Westwood Car Wash. The single wash tickets make great stocking stuffers. And when you buy a book of wash tickets, Westwood gives you a great deal of 5 washes for the price of 4. So give me a break. At your one-stop gift shop for all occasions. Westwood Car Wash in Salina and Van Wert.
Any updates? Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the pride of wrestling, the man that is
Welcome back to Piqua. We are at the half. The St. Henry Redskins surprising the defending Division 6 champs, the Delphos St. John Blue Jays, 6-3 so far. St. John's with just a field goal. And the St. Henry Redskins with a scoring drive. McCormick, or rather I should say Gilbo to Neil Schmitz for a touchdown. And Charlie Webb's got the field goal for St. John's. That's where we stand here at the half. It's time now for our halftime show, brought to you by our good friends at Van Dyne Crotty of Delphos, uniforms that work. We will take a 30-second timeout. We will return to tell you about our first half after these very important words on Fox.
We're proud to be ranked #1 in the uniform industry. But more importantly, we've been voted #1 for 2 years right here in West Central Ohio. Let our dedicated staff make your business look like a winner with our smart and professional uniforms. Your business will look like a winner with professional uniforms delivered right to your door. Our customized entry mats will make a great first impression with all your customers. Keep your employees and your business looking sharp with Van Dyne Crotty.
We have the St. Henry Redskin band out on the field right now trying to pump their fans up as they are on top 6-3 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. And Bob, as we look back at those keys to the game, some big things happening right now for Tim Beckman and his crew.
Well, sure are. We talked about being able to run the ball, and we haven't heard the stats yet from Big Dave, but they've attempted to run the ball, but not really successful. I think it's been more Delphos shooting themselves in the foot as far as that goes. Field position, Coach Beckman talked about he got to turn that around. It was terrible first game. St. Henry really has had the better of the field position most of this first half. Kicking game, well, it's kept Delphos in the game. They've missed a field goal, a couple field goals, and made one, but it's what's kept them in the game as far as making it 6-3. Boy, St. Henry's defense is the key right now, though.
We got Scott Stiles down there on the sideline. Scott, the big story of this first half for St. John's has been the departure of Jace Metzner, their outstanding split end, who has done a great job for St. John's this year. Came in with over 900 yards and receptions, 41 this year, 17 touchdowns. First team All-MAC, first team All-District, and he has been injured in the first half. We haven't seen him since the first quarter.
Yeah, Carl, I'll tell you what, I've never seen a kid get behind a defensive secondary like this guy does. I mean, he is amazing. He can flat out run, he can flat out catch, and he's able to get open anytime he wants. And I tell you what, they're missing that threat right now because St. Henry is stifling the running game for Delphos. And what I'm told is the knee popped out, they got it popped back in place. They do not know what kind of damage is done to the knee. He cannot put any kind of pressure on it, and therefore you will not see him the rest of this football game.
Well, that is bad news for Delphos St. John's, and they've been out without some stars before. Chad Sholey has missed a number of games, and they have had their running back position done by committee, as Vic Whiting has said many a time, and we hope that for the Blue Jays, if they are able to go on and win this game, that Jace Metzner will be able to get back into that starting lineup, or at least get back into the football games. Been a great first half so far from Piqua. Delphos St. John's trailing right now the Lone Zone scoreboard by the score of 6-3. Halftime show has been brought brought to you by our good friends at Van Dyne Crotty of Delphos. Van Dyne Crotty, they are uniforms that work. We will take another timeout. When we return, we'll have more action for you in this championship game for the regionals between St. John's and St. Henry, all coming your way next on Fox.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravies, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
Include Chief Supermarkets in your plans this Thanksgiving. We've got fabulous fresh foods that will leave your guests in awe. And if you don't feel like cooking, we can prepare a full-course Thanksgiving meal. All you have to do is take it home and heat it up. At Chief Supermarkets, it's 100% guaranteed fresh. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. We look forward to helping you with your Thanksgiving plans at Chief Supermarkets.
Delphos is a great place to live and raise a family. If you're thinking about building a new home in Delphos, consider the benefits of Heritage Meadow off State Route 190. Heritage Meadow has more than 20 lots to choose from. Most are 96 feet by 140 feet. All lots have underground utilities and adhere to certain building codes and restrictions. Heritage Meadow is serviced by the City of Delphos, and all lots are zoned as non-commercial. Lots start at $17,500. Call for a quote today.
Fashionable men know where to go for the finest in tailored clothing. Lion Clothing in Delphos. Lion Clothing carries suits for the well-dressed businessman and offers accessories to complement your attire. Lion Clothing also have a wide assortment of fashionable sportswear for your leisure activities. School jackets, silk screening, and custom embroidery are also available at Lion Clothing in Delphos, outfitters of fashionable men.
Hey, TV Land, listen up. It's me, your car. You're driving me crazy, cruising from one gift store to the other. Just take a minute to stop. And think about the gift any car owner would love. A gift pack of wash tickets from Westwood Car Wash. The single wash tickets make great stocking stuffers. And when you buy a book of wash tickets, Westwood gives you a great deal of 5 washes for the price of 4. So give me a break. At your one-stop gift shop for all occasions, Westwood Car Wash in Salina and Van Wert.
It's time now for the Fox 67 High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by American Heating and Air Conditioning, an energy partner of AEP. Good evening, everyone. I'm Aaron Coral, and to the scoreboard we go. We are in playoffs once again, and this is the regional finals. In Division II, Salina stays alive with the 1-point victory over Sylvania Southview, 38-7. Lebanon knocks off Miami Trace, 38-7. Chardon remains undefeated with the big win over East Liverpool, 31-6, and Mayfield defeated Grafton Midview, 35-21. In Division IV, the Cavaliers of Coldwater destroyed Bath by a score of 43-8 at Troy. Huron blanked Aurora 23-0. Cincinnati, Wyoming had the big upset over defending state champ Valley View, 28-18, and Orville knocks off Youngstown Ursuline, 28-24. And finally, in Division VI, Tiffin Calvert still hasn't given up a point in the playoffs yet as they knocked off Gibsonburg 21-0. Lancaster Fisher Catholic edges out Newark Catholic 10-9, and Cuyahoga Heights all over Monroeville 48-6. This high school football scoreboard has been brought to you by American Heating and Air Conditioning, an energy partner of AEP. You're watching WOHL, Lima's Fox Station.
Getting ready for our third quarter here on Fox. Here's a look at our halftime stats brought to you by Westrich's Furniture with 3 locations in Delphos. Our good buddy Jack Westrich and his lovely wife Jane making these stats possible.
Okay, Carl, the score by quarters went this way. After one quarter, Delphos St. John's and St. Henry both scoreless. At the half, St. Henry had a 6-3 lead. St. Henry stats at the halftime, 17 carries for 14 14 yards rushing. As far as passing yards go, Gilbo 3 of 5 for 69 yards for a total of 83 yards in the half. 3 first downs for the Redskins, 1 turnover, which was a fumble, and they were penalized twice for 20 yards. For the Delphos St. John's Blue Jays, 14 carries on the ground for 42 total yards. McCormick in that first half, 7 of 10 in passing for 84 yards, grand total of 126 yards in offense. 6 first downs for the Jays, 1 turnover, that was a fumble, and they were penalized 4 times for 45 yards.
Good friends from Westridge Furniture making those stats possible. Our dapper Scott Stiles on the sideline. And we will go to Scott in just a second or so. Getting ready to get this game underway in the third quarter here on Fox 67. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays trailing 6-3 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. St. Henry going to kick off to them. Let's see if the Jays have been able to regroup in the locker room at the half. It is going to be for St. Henry, Corey Hess putting the foot into it. It's going to be short, picked up at the 25-yard line, returned over the 30, and the Jays will set up 1st and 10 at around the 31-yard line. And so, the St. Henry Redskins with a very good first half defensively, shutting down a team that has scored over 60 points numerous times this year. And right now the Jays without Jace Metzner, who has been injured in the first half, going to try to get some passes over to some of their other receivers, John Odenweller, tight end Ryan Morris, and a couple of others as they go to Schulte off right tackle, picks up a couple of yards.
I look for St. John's to come out and try to establish a run a little bit here in the early going and let Schulte do a little bit of the work, kind of take the game back to St. Henry, because that last quarter St. Henry took it to them.
I tell you one thing, Coldwater's beating up on Bath tonight, 27-zip. Kind of shows you what a good team St. John's is. They knocked off Coldwater this year in the final season game, 40-13. And they're knocking off another Western Buckeye League team tonight. It's going to be Marks this time. Picks up the first down and gets some more. And Marks with a nice carry for Delphos St. John's. Remember, there's a couple of Markses on this team. One of them is Dave Marks. He is number 34, and also there is number 36, Doug Marks, and that was Doug with the carry there. So it's a 1st and 10, Delphos St. John's ball at the 45-yard line. This time they will have John Odenweller and Brad Klaus split on the right side of the field. Out of the I formation, Scott McCormick with Klaus in motion. McCormick goes with a handoff, Schulte up the middle, defense there, but he picks up about 4 yards. Let's try Scott Stiles again down on the sideline. Well, maybe next time we'll try Scott. Scott having some technical difficulties down there, and we'll go to him as soon as Ron Coons, our cameraman, helps him out and fixes things down there. 2nd down 7 from the 48-yard line. 10 minutes, 35 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. 6-3, Skins on top. Again, out of that I formation, it's going to be a handoff to the first man through Martz, and he gets a second effort close to another first down. And like you said, Bob, looks like the Jays are trying to establish a running game.
I think a couple things probably here. One, yes, trying to establish it. And 2, I got a feeling that Coach probably challenged them a little bit at halftime. I know Stiles, he said that he was obviously not happy going into the locker room. And I think he's challenged them, and I think right now they're trying to answer that challenge.
It's 3rd down and 2. I said first down, but it looks like he's a little short. So it's, let's say, a long yard for the first down. Pitch back Schulte. Schulte right tackle, picks up big yards. First down, Delphos St. John's, and we will try again. Scott Stiles, I think it's the hat, Scott, that's causing you some problems down there.
Carl, I think you're really framing this thing. I know you didn't want me to be here tonight, but boy, you're going to great extremes. Anyways, hey, I talked to Frank Griezorn for St. Henry coming out second half. They made no changes at halftime. He said their kids are so excited they actually had to calm them down a little bit to stay focused. But I tell you what, when Coach Vick came out, he said we're going to go right at them, run right down their throats. If they stop us, they're the better team. Right now, Delphos showing the strength.
Okay, and Frank Griesdorn, one of the assistant coaches for the St. Henry Redskins. 1st and 10, Jays, and there's Marks, who is hit right away by big number 20.
Ben Niekamp.
That is Niekamp, the left defensive end, 6'3", 205. Let me run down some of these sizes for you. St. Henry, some big boys. Niekamp, 205. Link on the defensive line, 290. Everman, 215. Rosenbeck, 275. Kramer, just a little guy at 186. But then you get to the linebackers. Busher's 201. And Mullenkamp is 210 pounds. But the Jays, everyone on that offensive line over 200 pounds. Well, let me check this in a second. We got a timeout by the official. Everyone over 200 pounds on that offensive line for St. John's. Morris, the tight end, 200. Huntingford, 265. Godey, 220. Gunder, 215. Morris, 210. Steeman over 300 pounds. I'll update those sizes because I got another list here. Vic Whiting updated some of those weights as Schulte is able to bowl his way through for a few more yards. The new sizes, I've got some numbers from last year. Let me check the updates here. It is going to be Ryan Morris at 215, Huntingford at 250, Godey 230, Gunder 250, Morris 250, Steeman 315. Those sound a little better, Bob.
Either way, they're big.
3rd down and 4 for the Jays. 35-yard line, 8:16 remaining. 3rd quarter, they trail by 3. 6-3 lone zone scoreboard. Scott McCormick, the quarterback, goes to the pitch. It's this time going to be Marks. He's got some running room, and he will go down around the 15-yard line. Again, this is Doug Marks, number 36, 5'8", 170-pound junior. Nice run for Marks. And that was a 20-yard carry for Doug. And again, all kinds of running backs for St. John's. Martz and Schulte and Weber and Bowers and Odenweller. They got a bunch of good ones. It's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. McCormick looking things over against this tough St. Henry defense. Going to go with the option left, and McCormick is going to go down the play there by number 40 on that defense, and that is Tony Kramer out of his right defensive end position. He's got 44 tackles this year and 4 sacks, and he looked good on that one, Bob.
Interesting call. I'm not sure if that was a broken play or if they had some type of boot action on that, but they've been able to just knock him off the ball. That right side with Morris and Steeman has just come out blowing people off the ball. And one away from it at that time, and it cost them. And this is what's happened 2 other times down here. Big drives.
9th play of this drive. 2nd and 16. Pass play. McCormick looking deep. Has a receiver, and it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted around the 15-yard line. It's going to be a turnover. St. Henry is going to get the ball back.
Was just not there at all, and stepped into the passing lane and picked it off. Just key mistakes, and it's been 3 drives now. The key mistakes down there where they're headed into score and things backfire on them.
That is the 2nd turnover against Delphos St. John's in this football game, and that turnover will come at the 7:04 mark of this 3rd quarter. A lot of time remaining. It's still those 6-3 St. Henry on top. The offense comes back out for the Redskins, and again led by their quarterback Gary Gilbo and Joe Fullenkamp, their tailback, and they will go with the fullback Gast that time. Gast has not had a lot of yards this year. He's got 48 carries coming into the game for 159 yards. He is the lead blocker for Joe Fullenkamp, who has almost 1,000 yards this season.
So you looked at statistics there at the beginning of the 2nd half. They only had 83, I believe it was 83, 85 total yards. So it's not like Delphos has had a poor game. They've been super on defense, but just that one big bomb and lots of mistakes offensively.
2nd and 9, 20-yard line, 6:30 remaining, 3rd quarter. Gary Gilbo looks for the pass play, and he's going to get out of the pockets, got some running room, and then quickly Josh Will. No, it's going to be on the defense, number 35 coming in for Delphos St. John's, and that is Brad Schwinnen, who's able to get in there for the stop. Tomorrow, Saturday on the Locker Room Show, if you didn't get a chance to catch it today, my guests will be Tim Beckman of St. Henry, Vic Whiting of St. John's, and also also Coach Jerry Cooper of the Bath Wildcats talking about their games tonight, but you'll be able to look back on the comments from earlier this week. It's 3rd down and 8. Big down for St. Henry, big down for St. John's. 21-yard line. Gilbo out of the shotgun, looking for the pass play left sideline. And now the little pass across the middle and looked like it was broken up down there by the Jays, and that means that St. John's will get the ball back on the exchange of downs, and they'll get it back at the 5:38 mark here in the 3rd quarter, and they should have some pretty good field position.
They should have tried to run that similar plays that they ran in the first play of the game where they drag you underneath, but St. John's was ready for it. Actually, it kind of threw into almost triple coverage there. Lucky it wasn't picked off.
Time to punt. It's going to be again Bowman punting it around the 12-yard line. Gets a nice high punt. Fisher, fair catch, and boy, I tell you, that was a tough catch for Fisher as well, as he got it right at midfield. Let's see if this Jays offense can get something going. Not been in high gear since the first quarter after Jace Metzner caught a pass. He went down with a knee injury. He has not returned, and as Scott Stiles told us in the first half, it looks like he's not coming back in this game, and so they're going to have to do it without him. They're using John Odenweller and Brad Klaus to try to pick up some of that slack. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Scott McCormick goes to show, it's a fumble, and who's going to get it? St. Henry is going to get the football back again, and another turnover number 3 against St. John's. Very uncharacteristic of this Blue Jay team, but again, the defense going to come back out on the field. This is a team that has not given up very many points, and I don't know if this first team has given up any points all year. St. John's gave 7 to Lima Perry, but that was not their first team. New Bremen the same way. St. Henry got 6, Marion Local 9, Minster 14, Coldwater 13, and Hardin Northern 15. 1st and 10, 49-yard line. Gilbo, Fulenkamp, left tackle, and he will go down. And in on the defense that time for St. John's was number 48 picking up the tackle, and that was Rocky Klaus with the tackle from his right defensive end position. Rocky's been playing some great football this year. Deserves his first-team All-MAC and district honors. It's now a 2nd down and 8 with 5 minutes remaining here in this 3rd quarter. It's still 6-3 Skins. Gilbo wants to throw, looking across the middle of the field, got himself a receiver, and it's going to be caught, I believe, the first reception for Ryan Post, the tight end. And I tell you, when he caught the ball, he got slapped, smacked, banged, and hit hard.
The credit to him is he held on to that. That was a big game. Went to the tight end there down the middle, and pretty much wide open. Took the big hit and held on to it. But
great drive so far, Scott.
Yes, it is.
Both defenses are playing outstanding football, but Post just made one heck of a catch hanging on the ball after taking the hard hit. It's a great game, Carl.
Handoff goes to Fulenkamp, and Fulenkamp not able to pick up much. And so he picks up a couple of yards, and that's going to set up his 2nd down situation after that great reception there by Ryan Post. Ryan at 6'2", 194 pounds, and he is only a junior. A lot of players back for Coach Tim Beckman, who has had an outstanding coaching career for the Redskins. 165, 42, and 3. Region 24 finals. 2nd and 8 from the 29. Gilbo goes to the 2nd back. Fulenkamp got some running room. He's going to pick up a couple of more yards. This St. Henry team this season has not scored like the Jays, but they've scored over 40 points 3 times in the regular season, once in the playoffs. When they played Coldwater, they lost 19-9. When St. John's played Coldwater, they beat them 40-13. Doesn't mean much, but goes to show you that, when you lose in the MAC, like St. Henry, they lost to 2 very good football teams, and Coldwater right now playing some great football.
We were talking about halftime, maybe playing as well or better than the 2 teams on the field. Won't know because they're in different divisions, but all 3 playing extremely well.
They're down 5. They go. Fulenkamp's got some running room, and then the Jays stop it short of the 1st down.
Well, great example of the speed that the Jays have there. I mean, all night we've seen what looks like openings, and you think it's going to be big gainers, and they close to it, and ends up being a 1 or 2 yard gain. There's another example. Tell you what, if nothing else, that last turnover was big because it took field position and put it right back in St. Henry's hands when they had lost it to start this second half.
Fourth down. Going to be a big stand here for St. John's if they can hold them here. Do not want St. Henry to score again. Fourth down and 3. Gilbo wants to throw. Looking downfield, has a receiver, and he overshoots him. So the ball will go back to Delphos St. John's. The Blue Jay fans on their feet.
Has lined up in man and played him almost in a bump and run and said, we're coming after you. You're not going to have time to throw the perfect pass, and that's exactly what happened.
Talk about Coldwater. If they can win again tonight, that means they have knocked off the champs from the Western Buckeye League, and a team that only lost a couple of games in the Western Buckeye League, the Bath Wildcats, and of course they beat the Kent Wildcats in fine fashion over at Wapak. First and 10 for St. John's, 24-yard line, and the fans are getting antsy. They want some points up on the board from this high-powered Jay offense. And Chad Schulte, when we talked to Vic Whiting before the football game, said he had a great week of practice and he was out and he was ready to go, and he has looked pretty good here tonight. But I tell you, this defense, as we talked about before the football game as well, Bob, led by those linebackers Ryan Busher and Rodney Molenkamp, have done a nice job against Chad here tonight. Second 7 from the 27-yard line. Again, Scott McCormick, the quarterback, pitches to Chad Schulte. Or no, that was Martz, I believe, that time. And yes, it was. And that kind of shows you a little bit. You know, Martz getting a lot of carries, Bob, here in this second half.
Yes, he is. It makes me wonder if Schulte isn't still a little bit gimpy and they're looking to run him in and out of there and keep him fresh. Now he's coming back in here, but they've had him out a couple times already. Again, they're trying to run that pitch off, or sweep off the pitch and cut back into grain. St. Henry doing a great job of staying in good pursuit lanes and not giving them anything on the cutback.
It's a third down and 4 from the 30-yard line. It's a play action. Looking down for the pass play. Klaus is going to catch it at the 40-yard line. First and 10, Delphos St. John's. This drive will continue.
A nice little in and out cut or Z out type of pattern there, and he threw the ball before he made the out cut. Perfect timing, well thrown ball.
Some of the other teams that St. Henry has defeated this year, Eaton, Waynesfield, the teams out of the MAC, and also that game in the playoffs with Cedarville, they won 43-6. First and 10 from the 41-yard line. Out of the I formation, they go with Chad Schulte. Look at the moves by Chad. He gets to the outside and he bowls his way forward for another first down. That might be the spark this Jays team needs here in this second half.
There's the example. He got the good seal off and the good push, and he just came back against it, and that's just seeing things in front of you.
You know, we have not mentioned it yet here in the football game. A lot of you fans out there that might be familiar with some of these St. Henry players do not see, at least here in this football game so far, Matt Zahn. And Matt Zahn is the big boy at 6'8", 345 for St. Henry. We'll tell you his story here in a second. First and 10, 46-yard line. They go with a different running back. This is going to be Weber. Weber down the right sideline. Touchdown, Jays. Sooner or later, you knew that Zach Weber would strike, and he does at the 44-second mark of our third quarter. Jays now on top, 9-6 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. A 54-yard run by Zach Weber for St. John's. Scott Stiles got another one of those looks at a nice run down there by Weber.
Carl, I'll tell you what, they're pounding and pounding with Schulte. They put Weber in and zing right down the sideline. I tell you what, he was off to the races. I tell you what, it's a lot different atmosphere over here on this side right now. The last series they came off, they were yelling at each other. Now they're hugging and kissing each other. Back to you, Carl.
I know they might be hugging, but you think they're kissing too, Scott?
Must be the hat.
Well, he was zinging down that sideline, and he got himself a touchdown. Zinging, is that a word? think Scott made that one up. The extra point is also good, and now the Jays back to where they are used to being, and that is on top of their opponent. It is now 10-6. Nice scoring drive, and Dave Mesker will tell you about that drive here in just a couple of seconds. But Bob, a big momentum builder for Delphos St. John's.
Sure was. We're talking about him running in all those different backs, and just what Scott said, pound him, and all of a sudden, boom, here comes Weber, and he gets in the open. There aren't many around. They're going to catch him.
Well, Weber with 17 touchdowns, and what's the amazing stat on Zach is he came in with 58 carries and 875 yards rushing this season.
I tell you, they just got so much depth. We've seen that maybe receiver-wise are not as deep as we thought, but definitely in that backfield, they can run 3, 4, 5 kids at you.
Well, time to kick off for Delphos St. John's. It is going to be Charlie Webb gets the foot into it, and back deep, taking it is going to be Schmitz across the 15-yard line. Got some running room, and then finally goes down around the 27 as Dave Mesker will check that scoring drive for the Jays.
The scoring drive brought to you by Kraus Lumber Do-It Center in Lima, where service is more than a slogan. That drive covered 6 plays, 76 yards, time of possession, 1:48, topped off with a Zach Weber 54-yard TD run, extra point good. Delphos St. John's up 10-6.
We'll continue our playoff action here on Fox 67, depending on what our local teams continue to do. We're hoping to be back again next week. Carl Metzger, Bob Askins, and the dapper Scott Stiles on the sideline. St. Henry trying to get something going here. It's not going to happen on this play, as now this is what the Jays like. They get the lead. They're able to turn that defense on, turn them loose, and do what they do best, and that is hold their opposition to a very few number of points. And that probably was our last play of this third quarter. The Jays are going to go into the fourth quarter, and you'll see the Jays' hands and arms go up in the air as the 4 fingers will come up on the fans as hands, which means the fourth quarter belongs to Delphos St. John's. And with 5 seconds remaining, that's what's going to happen. We have played 3 quarters from Piqua. Wirt Stadium, our score on the Lone Zone scoreboard, it is Delphos St. John's 10, St. Henry 6.
Citizens Bank of Delphos, member FDIC.
The gym was like a second home to me.
Hey, Kevin.
So when I hurt my shoulder and I couldn't do the things I love to do, I knew I needed help. After surgery at St. Rita's and time in the hospital's therapy pool, my shoulder's stronger than ever. Thanks to St. Rita's, I'm back in the gym doing what I love to do, with the people I care about most.
For more about St. Rita's Sports Medicine Program, call us. That's why there's St. Rita's.
I'm known for mysteries, but given the season, I thought a love story more appropriate. It's about Arby's French dip sub. The main character is warm and tender. Then another character is introduced. They meet. They're obviously meant for each other. I love that part. It always brings a tear to my eye. No, wait. That's just a splash of au jus.
Experience the warmth of the season with Arby's French dip or French dip and Swiss subs. Just $1.99.
Randy Custer here at Ravy's announcing the biggest truck sale of the year going on now.
Plus, buy this new 98 Ranger and I'll throw in a bed liner. Or buy this 99 F-150 and I'll throw in a bed liner. Lease this F-150 short bed and I'll throw in the bed liner.
Or buy this 99 Ranger Super Cab and I'll throw in the bed liner.
Or buy this F-150 Super Cab and I'll throw in a free bed liner. And we've got interest rates as low as 1.9.
And we will throw in a bed liner.
At Ravy's.
Hey, TV Land, listen up. It's me, your car. You're driving me crazy, cruising from one gift store to the other. Just take a minute to stop. And think about the gift any car owner would love. A gift pack of wash tickets from Westwood Car Wash. The single wash tickets make great stocking stuffers. And when you buy a book of wash tickets, Westwood gives you a great deal of 5 washes for the price of 4. So give me a break. at your one-stop gift shop for all occasions. Westwood Car Wash in Salina and Van Wert.
Sunday on Fox 67, our game of the week, the Minnesota Vikings will be at Green Bay. They're going to be taking on the Pack. It is a 1 o'clock start on Fox. Don't worry about NFL action. We got high school football action right now. St. Henry on a 2nd down 7 from the 31-yard line. Gary Gilbo trying to get him fired up from the shotgun. Looking downfield, we're going to have a procedure play. This one's going to come back as Pikey is down there. It's intercepted by Delphos St. John's, and back there, was it Weaker or Will? One of those guys back there. I think Weaker picked it off, but there was a flag, and it's going to go.
I think it was a motion
all
penalty,
the way
Carl.
back.
I believe it was a motion penalty. That'll be declined if it was.
Yep, procedure, and it goes against St. Henry, so that play stays alive, and that means the Jays are going to get the football back. So St. Henry turns it over, and Delphos St. John's will have a chance to eat up some of that clock here in this 4th quarter. The only bad news so far for St. John's has been, again, that injury to their outstanding split end, Jace Metzner. But the Jays still on top, 10-6 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. What a football game we have had here tonight from Wirt Stadium in Piqua. Kind of game we expected. 2 powerhouse teams for the MAC battling for the Region 24 championship. 1st and 10, 26-yard line. Schulte on the pitch. Picks up a couple of yards, and Jays will be faced with a 2nd down. Again, we'd like to thank our good friends Jay Metzner providing us with some goodies before the football game out in the parking lot, as the sausage was good. All the other moms and dads out there, and we'd like to thank our good buddy Craig Seaver from the Carriage Inn in Delphos at 1201 East 5th Street. Brought up some sandwiches and wings and all kinds of goodies, as well as our other 38 sponsors or so who have made it possible that we are here tonight doing this playoff game. 2nd and 6 for the Jays. It's a handoff to the little guy this time, and there he goes. Zach Weber, and he almost cut the corner one more time, but he is still going to have enough to pick up the 1st down.
Okay, he just gives him a little bit more speed than Chadsdale will give him tonight, and he gets into the seam, and he is so quick and makes such nice cuts that every play it looks like he's about 1 step from going the distance.
First team honors: Ryan Post, Jason Metzner, Charlie Webb, Eric Morris, Tony Steeman, Scott McCormick, Chad Schulte, all St. Henry and St. John's on that first team All-MAC for the offense. And here goes Martz. Martz trying to get to the outside as he mumbles, goes down that sideline, and close to another 1st down for Delphos St. John's.
Just what we talked about earlier. They challenged them, said we're going to try and run it down your throat. Boy, right now they are running it down their throat.
Blue Jays sideline all pumped up. Every 1st down they pick up means that more time goes off that clock, and the Jays closer to the next step, which would be a state semifinal game. And we reminded you that teams left: Lancaster, Fisher Catholic, Tiffin Calvert, Gibsonburg, Cuyahoga Heights, and Monroeville, as well as Newark Catholic. Man in motion for the Jays. It's a 1st down and little dive play to the fullback, Dave Martz. Not much going on there, but time continues to tick away. 10 minutes and 36 seconds remain. When this one is over, we're going to get out on the field. The Commercial Bank is going to help us out with our player of the game. Our good friends from the Commercial Bank making it possible, as they are one great bank with offices in Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. Player of the game help sponsored by the Commercial Bank. 2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line. Scott McCormick out of the I formation, pitch back to the little guy, Zach Weber, and he gets to the outside and then is hammered by that very strong linebacking crew and defensive backs for St. Henry. Busher is the player back there. He's a man. Number 65, 5'11", 201 pounds, senior. The only player to go both ways for St. John's or St. Henry.
That's correct. I mean, that's a credit. You talk about Division 6 and only one player going both ways. That's a credit to the programs and a number of kids they've got playing and the type of athletes in those 2 schools.
3rd and 5 drive for the Jays, 42-yard line. We're down to 9 minutes and 35 seconds. Scott McCormick under center. Phil Gunder looks for, nope, goes to the handoff. Second back through, and it's going to be short of the first down. Big decision now for Coach Vic Whiting on a 4th down and short. Need about 3 yards to pick up the first. And looks like the punting crew is going to come out for St. John's, going to try to pin St. Henry deep in their own territory. Thanks to Heritage Meadow, Delphos, Lehman's Furniture in Delphos, the Citizens Bank of Delphos, and Harder & Son Funeral Home, 209 West 3rd Street in Delphos, some of our great sponsors here on Fox. 4th down, they need 2, and they are at least lined up in the punt situation here. Punt formation, we'll see what they do. They will punt. Martz gets his foot into it, and it's going to be a nice kick. And where's the bounce going to go? It's going to go into the end zone. That was close.
Just about stuck it. Looked like your wedge shot there, Carl.
Many of those. And so now the Jays are going to have to hold as St. Henry is going to come back at their 20-yard line. Going to try to get their offense pumped up a little bit.
Delphos St. John's has just been outstanding on defense tonight. Real close to 100 or less yards in total offense for St. Henry. And other than that one long bomb, it really, St. Henry unable to really do anything else at all.
St. Henry came in 160 first downs, 1,561 yards rushing overall, over 2,000 yards passing, over 3,600 total yards, and giving up around 2,500. Pass play, Gilbo looking down the field. Now he goes and runs the football across the 25 to 30. Got some running room and finally hammered. Oh, my. He got stuck by a couple Jays down there, and Gary Gilbo, I think he got nailed by Wiekert. Steve Wiekert came up and just tattooed him.
You see that quarterback running free, and once he's over the line of scrimmage, by those defensive guys licking their chops, and Steve got a good shot at him there and made good use of it.
First down and 10, though, from the 37-yard line. Nice run, though, by Gary Gilbo. 17-yard pickup on that carry. Goes with Fullenkamp. Fullenkamp picks up about 3 to 4 good yards. And Scott Stiles has the eyes view, a great eyes view down there, bird's eye view on the field. Seeing some pretty heavy hitting down there, Scott.
Oh, Carl's tremendous hitting going on by both teams. I'll tell you what, he's doing a great job directing this drive so far. He's keeping his composure, not forcing the ball, having an interception or anything like that. You got to feel they only have maybe one more chance after this to get a score. Back to you, Carl.
Scott's getting a little cold down here. His mouth's kind of tightening up, it sounds like, a little bit. He's got that funny little hat on. That's going to warm him up at least. 2nd and 6 from the 41-yard line. Gary Gilbo, I formation. Looking over that Jays defense. He wants to throw. Nice job of the offensive line. Plenty of time, and he's going to throw a pass that is behind his intended receiver, and another hard hit by, it looked like Brad Klaus back there that time. If he would have caught that, he probably wouldn't have been able to hold on to it anyway.
They're flying to the football, but there's a great example of it. You might as well catch it because they're going to smack you anyways. And he had a shot at catching that and just couldn't quite hold on to it.
Raines Quality Homes in Bluffton, Westwood Car Wash, and Salina and Van Wert, Line Clothing. Big John Odenweller helping us out. Main Street in Delphos, and the Quick Change Oil and Lube in Van Wert, some of our great sponsors.
Makes me wonder if big Ken Schreiner doesn't shop there.
John's not big. I just mean big guy.
Oh, okay.
Just a nice guy. 3rd and 6 for the 41. Pass play. Gilbo looking down the field. Screen play. Gets it to Fullenkamp, and look at that Jays defense there to bring him down. In there, number 48 for Delphos St. John's. And back there, again, we've called his number out a number of times tonight, Rocky Klaus.
Good job of reading that and not letting that thing develop.
Well, that means that St. Henry is going to have to punt at the 7:04 mark. The Jays are going to try to eat the rest of this clock up. Returning for St. John's, Wiekert and Jeff Fisher back there. Everything is there. The punt, nice spiraling kick, going to be taken. Nope, going to let it bounce inside the 30. And now St. John's is going to try to get a couple drives together, Bob, where they can eat up some first downs and some time. So far, the possessions in the second half. Here is what St. Henry has done. Punt. They had to give the ball up on downs. They had an interception. possession, and they had to punt again. So, you know, last week we had a player of the game that came from the offensive line. The way this game has went so far, you better start looking over your defensive players, Bob, for a player of the game.
Okay, Carl, whatever you say, because you're the man.
Good for me. First and 10, 28-yard line, Scott McCormick. Hands off to a little counter play to Martz, and Martz is going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards. And so that's going to set up a second down. 10-6 in case you just tuned in. St. John's with a field goal in this game from Charlie Webb, and they also have a touchdown run by Zach Weber. And for St. Henry in the game, a pass play from Gary Gilbo to Neil Schmitz. And that has been the only scoring in this low-scoring game, different from the first time they played when St. John's won 34-6.
I think we kind of expected that anyways, Carl. I mean, we really thought that St. Henry would step it up a notch, which they have.
Pitch back, and this time it's Weber trying to cut the corner, and he goes down.
Great job of filling the backside there.
You know, the defense that time for St. Henry getting up kind of slow is number 65, their big man on campus, Ryan Busher. It's third down and 6 now from the 34-yard line. 5 minutes and 39 seconds, the only time we have remaining in this football game. Phil Gunder covers the football. Big third down for both of these teams. St. Henry needs the ball back. All timeouts remaining. Snap to the shotgun. McCormick, plenty of time, has a receiver, and it's knocked down. Good defense back there by St. Henry, and they almost picked that one off. It looked like number 39, or is that a?
I thought 16 was in on the play, though, Carl, which would have been Phil Borger that made the play. And Joe Worm was shaking up a little bit there, number 39.
Okay, and so St. John's is going to have to give St. Henry, boy, what a dramatic finish this would be if St. Henry can get a drive together here, down by 4. And so here's a big punt for Doug Martz.
Should get fairly decent field position.
Nice snap. Kick is there. It's a line drive spiral over his head. No, he catches it at the 27. Keeps on going there. Keeps on running forward. Oh, a hit by Josh Will, and he finally goes down. And again, paying for it is Neil Schmitz. And last year, Bob, if you remember, did you do games with me last year? Sure you did.
Yes, I did.
The hit in the tournament game, the playoff game, where Josh Will knocked the helmet off one of the opposing players, and we play that play over and over again, and he put a similar hit on Schmitz right there.
He's one of those 4 defensive backs for St. John's that just likes to fly to the ball and nail you, and that's why they got him on the special teams also.
This may be it for St. Henry. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to put a drive together here in the last 5 minutes. Out of the I formation, Gary Gilbo, their quarterback. Back to pass, looking for an out pattern. Has himself a receiver, Mikey, and he catches the ball down the right sideline, inside the 15-yard line. And I don't think the Jays coaches like that down there. Vic Whiting is believing that he pushed off on the defender to be able to catch that pass, and he is getting no sympathy from that sideline official. And let's go down to Scott Stiles on the sideline, who saw that one all the way.
Tell you what, Carl, Mikey got away with the push here a little bit, but I tell you what, the referee let him play. They've been letting him play all night. Great reception.
Mikey with that one. We're down to the big moments here for St. Henry from the 14-yard line, 1st and 10. The quarterback is Gary Gilbo. Handoff, he goes to Fullenkamp. The defense is there for Delphos St. John's. And folks, this St. Henry team has got to score a touchdown. Field goal will not help them here in this situation.
Yeah, they're going to have a difficult time running it in. I think they're going to have to throw it to score. St. John's is just that tough against the run, but they've really only had 2 big plays, or 3 big plays. First pass play, but 2 key ones, and both of them just fade patterns down the sidelines and perfectly thrown balls.
And that was a 40-yard reception. Gary Gilbo to the flanker, Tim Bikey. It's a 2nd down 9 from the 13-yard line. St. Henry trying to put some more points on the board. Play action. Gilbo being pursued, and he will go down. Rocky Klaus in on the defense again for St. John's, as he's been doing it all night long from his defensive end position.
Tried to run, I don't know if I call it a rollout pattern, but he came off of that power fake and really no lead blocker, so kind of a naked rollout type of pass. Can I say that on the air?
I don't think so.
Too late.
I&K Distributing, the Chief Supermarket, Unverfirth Manufacturing, and Raby Ford Lincoln Mercury making it possible. This game's on Fox. 3rd down, 11 from the 15-yard line. 4 down territory for St. Henry. They need to score. Here's the pass play. Gilbo, he's in trouble. Now he's got some time. Rolls out of the pocket in the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown, St. Henry. Oh, my. The touchdown coming at the 3:27 mark of our 4th quarter. St. Henry goes on top, 12-10. Post with the reception. Ryan Post, second big reception for him tonight, and the St. Henry fans are going wild.
The key thing there, Carl, was A, all day to throw it, and B, what composure by Gilbo. What composure. And looked over the field and found him deep in that far corner.
Well, we said that might have been the final shot for St. Henry. Delphos St. John's can, if they can stop them here, still only have to score a field goal. Bad snap. Kick is up, though, and they will get it. Nice job by the holder, Gary Gilbo, to bring that one back down. And, folks, Delphos St. John's needs to score a field goal to tie this one, or a touchdown to win it, and they will have plenty of time to do it with their high-powered offense. 3 minutes, 27 seconds. This could be the shocker of the night if they could go on and win this one. They now are on top 13-10. Let's take this time out. We'll return with more right after this.
The soybean is considered one of the world's most efficient and affordable sources of food and food protein. Central Soya Company in Delphos is one of our nation's leading manufacturers of oilseed products. A vast array of products are derived from this oilseed, such as baby food, cookies, non-stick cooking spray, soup, breakfast mix, and more. We take pride in our role as a corporate citizen and look forward to future community service. Central Soya Company, serving our customers, our community, and our employees.
They think it started somewhere in the attic. Is everyone okay? Yeah, everyone's all right, but the house, it's gone.
Sometimes you need more from an insurance agent than insurance.
Geez, your family's had that place forever. And all those memories. I know. Listen, we'll take care of everything we can.
That's why at Grange, our agents aren't just in the insurance business.
Tom, I'm sorry.
They're in the business of being human.
For all your insurance needs, call Hickey Morris Insurance.
Every morning, the interim personnel bus leaves for Plastipack in Jackson Center. Dwight's here early, and he serves the coffee, and the folks talk about what's in store for the day. Sometimes there's a new worker who needs to learn some of the ropes, and there's always someone to help them out. At Plastipack, the day's busy. The time goes by quickly. Interim personnel is in the people business. They can find a job to just about anyone, and you could be working tomorrow. Ask the folks who work at Plastipack or dozens of other companies in the area. Interim personnel, they can explore opportunities with you.
House hunters, if you're serious about buying a home, call Karen Martin at Yoakum Realty in Delphos for information on unbeatable interest rates. Whether buying, selling, or leasing, let Karen Martin at Yoakum Realty in Delphos tackle your real estate needs. Yoakum Realty is not number one, you are. G. Namich, owner, broker.
Tonight's the night I'm going to pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. It's a train. What? I'm making a commitment here.
Trust your home to a full-service trained professional like Canadian Sons Plumbing and Heating Kaleida. They have the experience you want and the service you expect. And remember, it's hard to stop a train.
Well, the St. Henry fans are fired up as we check the scoring drive on Fox.
This brought to you, as always, by Krause Lumber, Do It Center in Lima, where service is more than a slogan. That only took a minute 37 off the clock, Carl. Covered 56 yards, set up by that big 40-yard pass. 5 plays in the drive, culminating in a 15-yard TD pass from Gilbo to post. The extra point good. St. Henry up 13-10 with 3:27 left here in the fourth quarter.
Well, the state champs, the defending defending state champs need to score.
So the Redskins again kicking off.
St. Henry trying to pull an upset tonight here on Friday night from Piqua. St. Henry has never lost a playoff game here at Wirtz Stadium. It's going to be picked up by Martz at the 25, and he is going to go down at the 35. The Jays will have to go 65 yards to hit pay dirt, but they have the weapons to be able to do it. St. John's fans are on their feet. Players on the sideline trying to get their fans fired up even more, and they don't need to fire this St. Henry team up anymore, as their fans and team looking to knock off the #1 team in the state of Ohio. Well, they led at the half, Bob, and continue to do so with 6-3 after one half of action. St. John's with the ball. McCormick pitch back. Going to go to Weber. Weber with some running room. He's up the middle, trying to get to the outside, and he goes down. If Zach Weber would have cut the corner, he would have went all the way. Nice job, though, by Zach. It's going to set up a first down. They're going to be inside. Oh, missed outside the 45-yard line. St. John's with plenty of timeouts remaining. They've got 3. Both teams. And St. Henry has 3 timeouts as well. 1st and 10, 46-yard line. What a dramatic ending this could be. 13-10 St. Henry. Pitch back. Chad Sholey tries to cut it back up the middle. Keeps on going. Picks up about 7 yards. The Jays trying to grind up the remaining time and finish this game off. Let's go down to Scott Stiles, who sees all the action from the sideline.
Carl, clock's running. I'll tell you what, you can't get a better game in this. It's Weber time, though. You're going to see Weber get the ball a lot here with his quickness. You got to leave him in the game and play him.
2nd down, 3 for the 47. We're down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Pitch back, Weber. Weber cuts it up the middle, keeps on going. Got some running room. Gets to the outside. He's got one man to beat. Oh, he gets knocked down by his own player, Scott McCormick. But a nice run by Zach Weber as McCormick, as they do a lot of times with the lead block. Scott McCormick trying to set him loose. And a nice run as Scott Stiles called that one down there on the sideline.
I'll tell you what, he's the future of this team, but the future's now, Carl. They don't win, there's no tomorrow. You got to play him. He's going to take him to the end zone. You watch.
2 minutes and 16 seconds. 1st and 10, 26-yard line. McCormick pitch back, Weber. Look at him go. He's up the middle. Keeps on going inside the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. No, going to be short by about a yard or 2 yards, as that was a 27-yard gain prior to that. And they're getting very close to the area where their field goal kicker, Charlie Webb, who's missed a couple tonight, can knock this through. But right now, the Jays thinking pay dirt. 2nd down, 2 from the 17. Scott McCormick, and they got a timeout called. We will do the same. 2 minutes, make it 1 minute. 43 seconds remain here in this football game. It is St. Henry on top, 13-12 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. And as Scott Stiles stands down there on the sideline, very close to a huddle with head coach Vic Whiting.
He's preaching, don't turn the ball over. We got plenty of time to score. Don't press. That's what he's saying right now. But I tell you what, Weber is amazing. You can just feel it down here. Every time he gets the ball, the crowd rises. You just kind of sit on the edge of your seat waiting for him to break one. He's an amazing kid, Carl.
Score by quarter, St. John's and St. Henry did not score a TD in the first quarter or a field goal. We finished after one, zip, zip. Halftime, 6-3, St. Henry. Third quarter, it was St. John's on top, 10-6. In this fourth quarter, it is now 13-10 after the touchdown by St. Henry. They're on top. If the Jays score here, St. Henry in deep, deep trouble.
I could see him possibly trying to pop Martz here with a quick fullback there. The only thing different, if not, it's just going to be a tailback.
3 receivers for St. John's. Going to go with the running back.
What a hole.
Look at him go. He's got lots of running room. Touchdown, St. John's. Touchdown comes at the 138 mark of our fourth quarter of play, and the Jays fans are going wild.
Tell you what, Carl, number 77, Tony Steeman, you could have driven your car, my car, and Stiles' truck through there. Weber, with his speed, had no problem at all. Great job by Tony Steeman.
Now they go for the extra point on the 17-yard run by Zach Weber, and it's going to be Charlie Webb. He puts it up, and he will put it through. St. John's goes on top, 17-13, which means St. Henry has got to score a touchdown. And believe it or not, Scott Stiles, the prognosticator here tonight, as he called that touchdown by Zach Weber.
He's the man, Carl. That's all you can say. He's the man. But I'll tell you, the wind has really picked up down here. It's going to be 2 St. Henry's back, but the wind is really swirling right now, and it could affect the passing because they're going to have to throw the ball against this Delphos St. John's defense.
And so with 1:38, the only thing is St. John's may have given St. Henry too much time as we now go to the official scoring drive.
Brought to you by Krause Lumber Do It Center in Lima, where service is more than a slogan. That drive covered 6 plays, Carl, covering 65 yards. Time of possession, $1:34. It was a 17-yard TD run by Zach Weber with the extra point good. Delphos St. John's leading 17-13 here in the 4th quarter.
Well, folks, this is the kind of game that we expected. Banging each other around. I tell you, big Ken Schreiner would have enjoyed this game tonight.
He certainly would have enjoyed that last drive. It was his kind of offense.
17-13. St. John's now needs to hold St. Henry if they're going to go to the state semis. Taken at the 12. Returned over the 35. Fumble. Who's got it? Looks like the Jays may be on it.
I think number 2 got it.
Got right back on it. That'd be Bikey, who had the big reception, now able to get back on the football. And so it's going to be up to the St. Henry offense to get something going here with 1:31 remaining. I'd like to thank again some of our sponsors here on Fox 67. Your local Ottawa oil shell stations throughout Northwest Ohio, Arby's, the Lone Zone, and St. Rita's Medical Center. Timeouts remaining for St. Henry. They've got them all. Out of the shotgun. It's going to be again. Flag on the
motion
play.
penalty, so it doesn't matter what happens here.
Gilbo in trouble. Now he gets out of the pocket, and he is going to be forced out of bounds. But as Bob mentioned, they will bring that one back with 1:20 remaining here in this game. Again, the players, or rather the teams still left in Division 6 going into play tonight. Newark Catholic, Lancaster Fisher Catholic, Tiffin Calvert, Gibsonburg, Cuyahoga Heights, and Monroeville. Talked to Tim Beckman earlier this week. The only team that kind of jumped out at him of all those teams was Newark Catholic, and he said very strong this year. And you can see that by the way they beat up on Zanesville, 60-21 in that semifinal game.
11 seconds go off the play there, and the Redskins.
Now they're going to move the Redskins back and cause even more problems. Remember, when this one is over, Bob and I are going to go down in that cold field, bundle all up, and talk to our player of the game, and I got a pretty good idea who that may be.
Me too.
We may have to switch. Vic Whiting wants a timeout. Timeout is going to be called at the 1:20 mark. And we have had ourselves a dandy football game as St. John's is now down to their final timeout. And Tim Beckman is yet to use any of his. Well, go ahead, Bob.
So they're obviously going to have to throw the ball this late in the game, but not only that, even if they wanted to run it, they've had absolutely no success running the ball. St. John's is going to sit back probably in a 3 or 4 deep and let them throw underneath and tackle it, let the clock run out if possible. Field goal's not going to do it, so they got to get it all the way down into the end zone.
Well, we told you earlier they've been doing this without Jace Metzner, their star split end, who went out with an knee injury in the first half. You know, you look at this Blue Jay team, they've come a long way again this year. Their coaches, besides Vic Whiting, Steve Recker, Ron Morris, Dave Rabe, Neil Miller, Mike Rohde, Jerry Burguy, Dan Metzger, Kevin Rossman, Dean Hempfling, Eric Kerner, Jack Westrich. I know they spelled Jack's name wrong here in the program. Jimmy Martin, short shanker they call him. Mark Miller, and athletic trainer is Tom Lane. So right now, St. Henry faced with a 1st and 15.
Carl, they're going to assess that timeout to St. Henry, by the way.
Okay. Mikey with a catch, and then he goes down.
It's going to just be short, though, so it's going to be a...
And Odenweller over the tackle. St. John's will give them those short pass patterns.
Just what we were talking about. They'll let them throw underneath and just tackle, and they're satisfied with that.
They don't want anybody to get behind the defensive back. Slow snap out of the shotgun, another short pattern.
Great thrown ball there.
And that one's going to be caught, and that was number 26 with a reception for St. Henry that time, and that was Ryan Post, who caught the big touchdown pass earlier. 1st and 10 from the 49. Looking downfield is Gilbo. Short pattern again to Schmitz. He catches it and doesn't get a whole lot out of it, but
timeout.
Timeout is going to be called by St. Henry. That will be their final. They got one more. Still one timeout remaining. And so with 44 seconds, it ain't over yet, folks, because St. Henry can score, and they can score in a hurry as well. They've got 47 yards to cover if they're going to beat the defending Division VI state champs. Some of the coaches for St. Henry, some guys who've done an outstanding job this year besides Tim Beckman. Assistant coaches are Scott Brunswick, Frank Griesdorn, Brian Pohl, Gary Weigel.
Pass pattern?
I hope it's Weigel. No, that is not the Waggle. That's the Weigel. Well, the red and white trying to come back out here out of this timeout and defeat the #1 team in the state of Ohio. You look at Division VI and Division V. St. Henry, of course, in Division V. Back in 1990, they defeated St. Mary's Central Catholic 20-17. And then in 92, they knocked off Newark Catholic 7-3. Then they moved to Division VI and did it again against McDonald in 94, 21-7. Also, New Washington Buckeye Central 10-7 in 95. Lost to Mogador in 96, and of course St. John's won last year. Pass play, Gilbo out of the pocket. He's gonna, he almost got nailed, and finally is going to be forced out of bounds.
Nope, he's in
bounds with 35 seconds. That's a big play. They're going to get the football back out. We're down to 30 seconds. The Jays are 27 seconds away from the state semis. Out of the shotgun again. This is Gilbo, low snap. Flags all over the place. It's going to be procedure. Long pass play, and it's picked off by the Blue Jays with 15 seconds.
That's a motion penalty again, Carl, so that should do it. All you have to do is kneel down a couple times.
This football game is going to be over. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays are going to go to the state semifinals after that interception. Fisher back down there, and that's it. Third turnover for St. Henry. And now the Blue Jays, all they need to do is take a knee, and this game is going to be over. Wow. What a football game this has been. 17-13. Delphos St. John's right now on top after Zach Weber turned it on for the Jays in the final couple of minutes of this football game, replacing Chad Schulte. And the Jays are going to go to the state semis.
Jays want
timeout here to get organized.
They will do that. We're going to go down to the field. Our player of the game tonight going to be brought to you by our good friends from the Commercial Bank. And Bob, we could not have asked for a better football game.
It's been exciting from the get-go. We thought it would be closer. We didn't know if it would stay this close all the way through. But what a credit to St. Henry to hang in there. A couple key scores. But the champions get going when they have to. And that drive after they went down there on the pass play by St. Henry put them up late. What a super drive by St. John's. We're talking about Zach Weber, but what a great job up front by that offensive line also.
14 seconds between the Jays and the semis, and of course we do not know at the time we're doing this football game how the other games have ended. And what a job in the last couple of minutes of the Jays putting a drive together. And that offensive line, we could give another MVP, player of the game, to the offensive line because they really did it for Zach Weber.
You want to look at it, too. They really played the second half without Schulte. He has not been in since early in the second half, and without Metzner since that first series. So probably their two top offensive skilled players not in the ball game almost the whole game.
Here we go. This is it. Knee goes down. This ball game is going to be over. St. Henry with a great football game tonight. They have nothing to be ashamed of. But the Delphos St. John Blue Jays are going to advance after a timeout. Well,
St. Henry decided to use their last timeout.
Well, Looks like Coach Griesdorn is going to come out, talk to his players. And we have 8 seconds remaining in this football game. And again, we'd like to thank all the folks making it possible, all of our sponsors, for Bob and I to be here tonight, and also our sideline guys, Scott Stiles. And let's go down to Scott for a final time here to wrap up this football game. Scott, good football game for both teams.
It was an excellent game, but the worst play of the game just happened now. They just dumped ice on Coach Vic, and then St. Henry called a timeout. So now he's got to wait out there, and he's all wet, and he's not very happy about it. But hey, you know, you've been making fun of my hat the whole game. Everybody listening and watching this game, send all the hats in this week to care of Fox 67.
Yeah, right.
We'll vote which hat I'm going to wear next week. And then Carl will send you a Fox 67 family pack.
Sounds
good. The
good.
winner will get that.
Hey, 3 seconds, 2, 1. Our football game is over. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays are going to advance to the state semifinals as Tim Beckman and Vic Whiting exchange congratulations to one another at the 30-yard line. And we are going to go down to the field to talk to our player of the game and tell you more in our post-game show. Again, the Jays win over St. Henry 17-13. Post-game show coming up next as we hear the fireworks in the background. All that next on Fox.
Fox 67 is proud to bring you tonight's high school football playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the broadcast rights of this game. If it wasn't for the support of the following businesses, this broadcast would not have been made possible. United Equity Incorporated in Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmer cooperative. Harder & Son Memorial Chapel at 209 West 3rd Street in Delphos. Harder & Sons wishes good luck to their favorite co-worker, number 77, Tony Steeman. Reliable Plumbing and Heating, call Reliable at 695-2921 for all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Reliable has 24-hour emergency service. The Delphos Food Locker, now featuring bulk sausage for $1.09 or whole pork loins for $1.89. Go Blue Jays! Community first, bank and trust, service, that's first. Fox 67 would like to wish the best of luck to all of the area teams during this year's high school football playoffs.
Our football game is over. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays are going to advance to the state semifinals as they knocked off a very tough St. Henry Redskin team tonight. 17-13 was our final, and I tell you, the temperatures have cooled down considerably here at Wirtz Stadium in Piqua. We have our player of the game presentation now. Compliments of the Commercial Bank of Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. The guy that we are going to give the player of the game to tonight is just a young feller, but his name is, what's your name again?
Zach Weber.
That's right, Zach Weber is our player of the game. We say that because Zach, just a sophomore, and he had over 100 yards rushing and only 5 short of picking up 1,000 for the season, but he's got another game to play next week. He had to stand in tonight for Chad Schulte, and we'll talk to Zach Weber and a lot more for you in our post-game show right after these words here on Fox.
One day, your father will talk about his walk to school. You'll recall today, mist like yesterday's rain and an envelope filled with inevitable truth. Then you'll know your education was more than a rite of passage. It was an opportunity, thanks among others to real community banks that invested in your hometown. So that one day, you can tell your grandchildren about how at least once, your walk to school was uphill both ways, just like your dad.
Brought you in. Chad was out of the football game. You pick up 120 yards, 5 short of 1,000 now. What was going through your mind when you knew you guys were down to St. Henry with a chance of not going on to the state semifinal game? What did Coach Whiting say to you, and what went through your mind specifically?
Well, Coach Whiting, he's always like that at the end, When it comes down to crunch time, he's always, clapping his hands, telling us to keep it together, and we did. I mean, this ain't the first time we've been in this situation. We went, we were down at halftime against Coldwater, and here again we were. We just came out and played our best game, and we came out the winner.
Okay, talk about your winning run for the touchdown, Zach.
I don't know. The linemen make the job for me, real easy, considering the fact that, I get the ball, and as soon as I look straight, there's green. I mean, you can, take a freight train through those holes. I mean, they're so big. But again, it goes to my line.
Okay, buddy, you guys get advanced to the state semifinals now, and I know that means a lot to you specifically, and also the rest of this team as hard as you guys worked all season.
Yeah, I mean, we want to go all the way. That's everybody's dream. Last year, as a freshman, I sat on the sideline, and when we rooted them on, and it was great going all the way there. This time I get to be a little bit more part of it, and I'm hoping we go all the way.
Okay, buddy, and you saw Jace in the locker room. Of course, you guys lost Jace Metzer in that first half. Give us an update on what you saw in the locker room when you talked to Jace.
Well, I didn't specifically talk to Jace. I knew he had a wrap and ice on his knee. I'm not sure what's wrong with him or how soon he'll be out or how long he'll be out and how soon he'll be back, but we'll just keep winning for him.
Okay, buddy, go out and celebrate with your team. The Commercial Bank got a great plaque we're going to give Zach for being the player of the game, 120 yards. Congratulations, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Zach Weber, our player of the game here on Fox 67. We'll let Zach go, and we are... Go ahead, buddy. You can go right now. And we'll let the rest of these guys here, and we'll get out of here as quick as we can before we freeze to death. Let's go to Dave Mesker, who will run down the final stats.
All right, Ron.
You can hold this if you want.
All right. Final stats brought to you by Westridge's Furniture with 3 locations in Delphos. As Carl Metzger mentioned, Zach Weber, 8 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Commercial Bank player of the game. In the contest for the Blue Jays tonight, rushing yards look this way, 41. Thank you very much. 41 carries overall in the game for the Blue Jays, 260 yards, Carl. 218 of those yards came in the second half for the Jays. Passing for McCormick tonight, 8 of 13 for 95 yards and 1 interception. So total offense for the Jays tonight, 355 yards. 15 first downs, 3 turnovers for the Jays, and they were penalized 4 times for 45 yards. One significant stat about the penalties, none in the second half for the Jays. Looking at St. Henry tonight, rushing yards, 29 carries, only 52 yards on the ground. Gilbo from the air, 10 of 17 with 2 interceptions, 167 yards in the air tonight for Gilbo. Grand total offense for St. Henry, 219 yards. St. Henry with 7 first downs, 3 turnovers, and they were penalized 3 times for 25 yards.
And I know this hat looks really stupid because it's his hat, but I tell you, it's colder than a rail out here, and I'm going to wear it. Got the Water Boys out here. We want to say hi to these guys. They do a great job out here, too. What's your name?
Spencer Wells.
Spencer and...
Michael Grubenoff.
Mike Grubenoff. A great job here tonight, guys. I'm sure the team appreciates your efforts. We'll say great job to the St. Henry Redskins, too, as they bow out of these playoffs. They finish up with a record of 9-3. We congratulate Tim Beckman and his St. Henry squad for an outstanding season, a class coach and a class group of athletes. Delphos St. John Blue Jays will advance on to the state semifinals. They now have a record of 12-0 on the season with this 17-13 win over St. Henry. And Scott, great game of the Jays tonight.
Oh, it's a phenomenal game. I tell you, I don't think anybody expected this type of game tonight, Carl. It was a defensive struggle. Both teams came out, played hard. I think Delphos maybe thought early in the game they were going to just walk through St. Henry like they did the first time. St. Henry put up an excellent game.
You'll never wear my coat again because this coat is worthless. Bob.
I think the key was that St. John's proved what kind of team they were able to come over. Some key mental errors as far as some penalties late and key drives and a couple turnovers. Super drive when they needed it.
Okay, and the post-game show brought to you by our good friends at the Commercial Bank of Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. Coming up on Saturday on Fox 67, those coaches, Tim Beckman and Vic Whiting, will be on my locker room show with also Jerry Cooper of Bath. Then on Sunday, our game of the week will pit the Minnesota Vikings up against the Green Bay Packers. That is a 1 o'clock start. Again, the Delphos St. John Blue Jays advance to the state semis with their win over St. Henry here tonight. Final score, 17-13. On behalf of Fox 67's crew, Scott Stiles and Bob Askins and Dave Mesker, the Blue Jay Water Boys down here, this is Carl Metzger saying so long, everyone.
It's time now for the Fox 67 High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by American Heating and Air Conditioning, an energy partner of AEP. Good evening, everyone. I'm Aaron Coral, and to the scoreboard we go. We are in playoffs once again, and this is the regional finals. In Division II, Salina stays alive with the 1-point victory over Sylvania Southview, 38-7. Lebanon knocks off Miami Trace, 38-7. Chardon remains undefeated with the big win over East Liverpool, 31-6, and Mayfield defeated Grafton Midview, 35-21. In Division IV, the Cavaliers of Coldwater destroyed Bath by a score of 43-8. at Troy. Huron blanked Aurora 23-0. Cincinnati, Wyoming had the big whip upset over defending state champ Valley View 28-18. And Orville knocks off Youngstown Ursuline 28-24. And finally in Division 6, Tiffin Calvert still hasn't given up a point in the playoffs yet as they knocked off Gibsonburg 21-0. Lancaster Fisher Catholic edges out Newark Catholic 10-9. And Cuyahoga Heights all over Monroeville 48-6. This high school football scoreboard has been brought to you by